And there's no one there to tell them. You poop in the toilet, not on the floor. And you don't want to tell them because that's racist.
You didn't betray me. You betrayed yourself.
No, Optimus!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing well tonight. This is indeed, we're waiting for one more member of the Redoubt crew, but we're 20 minutes early. I don't think that's ever happened before in the history of streaming, but I wonder if that like makes up for being late just habitually to every stream ever. If just one time I'm like super early, does it like make up for like a month of being late?
I don't think so.
Probably not. It's like if your dad abandons you for 2 weeks, but then like shows up one afternoon, it doesn't make up for the fact that he wasn't in your life. So
yep. But Amorite boy can't call you late and gay tonight, so that's
true.
positive. Yeah.
Well, honestly, he's not even here yet, so he is the gay one.
He's late and gay actually now.
Yeah.
How the tables have turned.
Yeah. Well, how was your week been so far?
Pretty uneventful. Not really too much going on.
I saw you popped up in a video by this hype beast YouTube marketing cringe lord Weekend Gunner.
Oh yeah,
I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Heavily featured in one of those videos, which you guys should go check out. I saw him in the chat. Hope you're doing well. What else have we got going on? So, the reason for the stream, I guess we could talk about that. Normally Tuesday nights we would be on the Redoubt channel. We are currently streaming as well on the Redoubt channel. Let me go ahead and copy that link and paste it over here into the Focus Trip chat. So if you're on the Focus Trip chat and you want to watch it on Redoubt, you should go over there and subscribe anyways, because it's a cool channel with myself, James, and Christian. James will be on in a minute. Throw up gang signs. I literally don't know any gang signs. Like,
I learned how to do the
gang
blood
signs
thing in like
right
fourth grade, right? Yeah, that.
Oh, there you go. Throwing it up. We got the real Garanthem in chat. Mega based. Got Nittos in the chat. So this is a dual stream. So we're currently streaming on Focus Trip, of course. That's why we're all here. And over on Redoubt, because James said, well, we're going to cover the Trump State of the Union 2026. So it's political have some theology discussion thrown in there. And yeah, so I mean, it's a solo topic stream.
Yeah.
For me anyways. I wasn't planning on streaming today on my own channel. But yeah, here we are, gents. Just waiting for James to arrive. Maybe we'll pull up the ABC broadcast if you guys want to listen to them talk about or predicting what's going to happen in the State of the Union. Probably not much.
What's your prediction? Just out of curiosity, what do you expect to see tonight out of old Trump?
Well, this is good. So what I would want to see is some sort of further. Again, Trump is really good at rhetoric, right? He's really good at saying things. So if I'm saying, what do I want to hear from Trump? I'm going to predict that we're not going to see anything on the Epstein files. He's going to try to not mention them at all. So that's something he's not going to talk about. Yeah. He's going to go hard on tariffs. He's going to go hard on immigration. His rhetoric will probably be really good, even though, they're reducing their efforts in Minneapolis and Minnesota in general, and that's kind of fallen apart a little bit. But I expect immigration, tariffs to be a big talking point. He's probably going to try and talk about job numbers, even though the economy isn't doing great. I don't know how he's going to try and spin that into a positive. Because remember, there was a point in time where they were talking about like, hey, with all these tariffs, we're going to give everybody, tariff reimbursement checks. Yep. $3,000, $5,000, no income tax. We can get rid of all that. It would be cool to hear something on that, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I guarantee you he's going to mention our greatest ally and Iran. And this is something that could be interesting because he could like really amp up the rhetoric for kind of leading into a war with Iran, or at least a kinetic strike in Iran. So we could see something in that vein tonight. Trump is good at talking. Sometimes he says the right thing, but as usual, it's the follow through. That's the problem. So I do expect to be entertained. What about you, Christian? What are you thinking?
Honestly, I think he's just going to glaze himself the entire speech, probably like, oh, look at how good of a job I've done, and obviously he's not in the average American's shoes, dealing with the economy and the job market and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a lot of him glazing himself at how good of a job he thinks he's done, when in reality, I'm not. I mean, I voted for the man, but I'm not a big Trump fan, I got to say. Not me.
Well, so what about 2016? Because 2016 was a different time frame for a lot of people. There was a lot more energy. Were you like a MAGA guy in 2016?
I would say, yeah. I bought into
Closer
it.
to that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. My political mindset is always kind of constantly changing and evolving. So.
Yeah, I mean, in 2016, I was just still in college. I think I still had like a year and a half left in college. So I was surrounded by a bunch of liberal friends, and there were like, 3 or 4 conservatives that were like, oh yeah, dude, the energy was great. We won. Trump ends up going 2 for 2 against women. Loses to Joe Biden, though, allegedly, which is quite funny.
Yep.
Yeah, allegedly. Very allegedly, which we could talk about that now. For like
sure.
3 years, you couldn't mention the fact that Joe Biden was the most popular president of all time.
Dude, I remember I worked night shift when the results of that election were coming in, and he was like completely in the lead at like 3 a.m. And then I wake up and it's like, oh, he lost. I'm like, what? What just happened, bro?
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. Do you think he's going to mention the Dow? How many times is he going to mention the Dow? For every time he mentions the Dow instead of the Epstein list, we have to do something. Take a shot. All right. What's the over-under on Dow versus Epstein list?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me pull up the ABC thing. I wonder what they're going on about right now. We have about 15 minutes. Again, James is going to be here.
Is Richard joining us too?
Richard might. I didn't message him because it was, it's focus trip, X Redoubt, mostly Redoubt, but also focus trip. So let's go live.
The
here
president
and see what
is not far into the speech bringing up what he is describing as restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere.
Right, I definitely think.
What about Mexico?
Yeah,
you think he's going to talk about intervening in Mexico? Because it's been wild down there last couple days.
It's been really crazy, yeah.
think that this is reflective of the fact that the president knows that there are going to be people all over the world watching this for indications of what could come next when it comes to some of those foreign policy decisions that he's going to make. And that's also something that I think we're going to hear in the Democratic response later on tonight from Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, who has a national security lens as someone who was a former CIA officer who's going to be speaking about the decision.
Jordan, I hope you're doing well tonight. Richard filled me in a little bit on your situation, but yeah, you know, I asked the chat, and they're not having it. Not that one. Not that one. The hair doesn't look natural.
But Candace is a go. All right, whatever.
Okay, well, Christian, Candace or that fine young lady? You'd have to take Candace, right? You'd have to take Candace.
I mean, ideally, I'd pick neither, but
well, of course, ideally. But if I've gun to head, all right, or something.
Yeah, I guess Candace. I probably would.
Eve of midterm elections, the first primaries are coming on Tuesday, and so what the president says here.
Hey, Mr. Shepard, hope you're doing well tonight.
Bring more people into the fold for Republicans, or it could, mobilize
like
more voters.
Well, it's never natural, right?
No.
Their hair never is actually like that. There's so much product and work that goes into making the hair look natural that it just never does, right?
No.
To go and vote with Democrats. It all remains to be seen. And so the tone of what the president says
Weave maxing, frame mogging your skull.
Devin Dwyer, you cover the Supreme Court for us.
Cody, no!
The president has arrived there at the...
I always forget what that man actually looks like. Half the time I expect him to have a spinner cap with a lollipop. And who's the guy on the right? He's a speaker, right? Is that Thorne? Sure. Is that Thorne? He's my former senator, isn't it?
Capitol, which means it won't be long before we see him enter the House chamber. Are you noticing what I'm noticing?
Johnson, Mike Johnson.
I don't think we have seen a Supreme Court justice yet arrive to the chamber. Am I right?
That's right. They're not in the room just yet, Kara, but they advanced the president, so they will go down that aisle in a short time. We know from the TikTok that we've been...
I wonder if he's not happy, though, because he just got his tariff slapped down. So with that, he has to repay, what is it? Or allegedly, like, I don't know how the numbers actually work out, but the tariffs got slapped down, and now he has to repay $175 billion to the companies, even though we paid the enhanced costs.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of getting tariff checks, we just got higher prices, and then our tax dollars then paid back the businesses that charged us more money.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Provided, and they will take a seat front and center, just steps from, throw some shade, if you will, at the justices in front of him.
Well, he did it last
So
week.
I think he's probably mad.
Social media.
Yes, he has.
Probably a little bit.
Before.
Which is funny because aren't three of them his picks? You know, and he might get a fourth, allegedly, if Roberts steps down, right? Or no, Robert already stepped down. There was another one that was thinking about stepping down.
Made a face.
Let's listen in to the speaker.
Gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise. The gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Emmer. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. McClain. The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson. The gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Reschenthaler. The gentleman from Utah, Mr. Moore. The gentlewoman from Indiana, Mrs. Houchin. The gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Hearn. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries. The gentleman from California, Mr. Aguilar. The gentleman from California, Mr. Liu. The gentlewoman from Washington, Mrs. Delbene. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. Dingle.
The President of the Senate, at the direction of that body, appoints the following senators as members of the Committee on the part of the Senate to escort the President of the United States into the House chamber. The Senator from South Dakota, Mr. Thune. The Senator from Wyoming,
Mr.
Barrasso. The Senator from Arkansas, Mr. Cotton. The Senator from West Virginia.
You can imagine if you did like a WWE entrance, just like fireworks and music going off.
The Senator from South Carolina, Mr.
He probably
Scott.
would prefer that, because
New
one thing
York,
that you have to
Schumer.
say
The Senator from
is
Illinois, Mr. Durbin.
egocentric. Like, he's a
Minnesota,
perfect
Ms. Klobuchar.
WWE character. In fact, he's in the WWE Hall of
The members
Fame.
of the escort committee will exit the chamber through the lobby doors.
So are we going to see Supreme Court?
Oh, I think I see Massey.
Supposed to see witnesses enter before the president. But
I mean, they all kind of blur together different ghouls, right?
United States. So if we see the president of the United States enter the floor,
yeah, we need to get rid of Thune. I agree. That's my job. Maybe I'll have to interview. I'll have to interview the Thune contemporary.
Is that
or his
Vintage
opponent
Warfare?
in the primary.
The Supreme
Vintage
Court just
Warfare.
suspended
Let's
the
go.
Yeah, welcome.
okay.
Long time no see. I'm glad that he's doing well in his new profession.
Put on a few pounds
This is
at the
something that we're watching very closely. Okay,
I
we're
think he's
a little
lost
behind
weight.
schedule,
Oh, I mean,
understood. Why don't we bring
she's
in
lost
Heidi
weight. My
Heitkamp,
apologies.
Good for her.
and former Trump campaign senior advisor.
All right, any Woods in the chat for that?
Alvarez. So Danielle, President Trump promised a lot of things when he was running for president. He told Americans he's going to help them financially, that he is going to keep the economy strong, that folks are going to be able to afford their health care premiums, their groceries, their gas. What does he need to say tonight? Or is it too late?
Tonight is going to be the story about a great contrast. The president inherited a mess that was created by Democrats and the failures of Joe
Isn't
Biden.
that what every current sitting president always says? I inherited this mess.
Well, if things are going bad, yes, blame.
Yeah.
If things are going bad, blame somebody else for it.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious, right? Because it's 45 and 47. So anything bad that happened to Biden, there was like, well, listen, we came in and nothing was happening in the middle of COVID and everything was just torn apart. And then Trump comes in and is like, that retard before me just couldn't handle anything, you know? He was still trying to clean up the mess from the guy before him. It's like, wait a second, that was you.
And
Ooh, aliens. Dude, I'm going to put a poll in the chat, actually. What are we going to see? What's the big revelation? So, aliens. All right. Mexico. Iran. Or, shoot. Well, what's another big one? So, aliens, war with Iran, Connecticut and Mexico. No Epstein mention. Which one's the most likely? There we go. Polls in the chat.
Yeah, that would have been a good one too.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, that just goes, everybody says that.
Yeah.
We must take big steps to curb anti-Semitism. All right, the Epstein files are out, which I was told not to mention. I'm all over them, just like a 13-year-old pageant girl. All right, and it's not looking so good out there. Did you see allegedly that Pam Bondi, some of the redacted names were not to protect anyone in particular, but to stem potential anti-Semitism?
No, I did not see
so
that.
Some of the redactions were not for victims, but to dissuade anti-Semitism. Wow, why would you say that?
Yeah.
It makes it seem like, they're guilty of something, right? That's
The year that he has been in
honestly,
office,
for the Mexico
we have
situation,
seen economic
I wouldn't be
indicators
opposed
trending
just
in
to
the- trending in the right
going down
direction.
there and just colonizing it, to be honest with you. I don't think that would be a bad move at all.
Those
No.
wins, but of
But
course,
I mean, they cause problems for us.
year ahead.
Mhm.
It's
It's
certainly
good
very
geography,
critical
too.
As we head into these
Yeah.
midterms, as we discuss about how Republican governance can create wins for the American people, and as we try to prosecute the case that Republicans should maintain a majorities in the House and Senate working alongside the president. So not only will it be important with all of these
I don't
items
like the way this girl
unchecked,
blinks.
that he talks about
kinda
the
scares
wins
me.
that he has delivered, again, the one big beautiful bill.
That's
the tax
crazy
cuts, the
eyes.
low
That
cost
is
families will be
middle-aged,
able to talk about most of the
childless,
issues, prices,
crazy
it
eyes.
will be very
That is
different
like,
days
and
of
she's
the
like
past
hitting the
year.
wall, because that's
And as
what,
he lays out that path,
mid-30s,
Heidi,
late
what does the
30s?
president need to say to unite
That
this
is a
country,
life
to get both
wasted.
Democrats and Republicans believing in the
I
next
mean,
2
I-
years
you
that
know,
they
I
will
hope
be
the best
solid
for her, but-
every American.
Invest in cat
Clark
food
is
stocks,
looking
my
to
dudes.
actually lay out a
It's
legislative
coming.
agenda, which he never
Cat
has.
food and
And so
boxed
when we
wine,
go
baby.
out,
Those are the
I
only
think
two
he's
stocks I
talking
own.
about what a great job I'm doing, and that's all he
SSRI
talks about.
overdose.
This is dangerous territory for Republicans. What he needs to do is outline a legislative agenda, challenge Democrats to come along and to actually deal with affordability.
All right, I'm going to bring our Devin Dwyer back in because now we are starting to see.
Oh, there we go.
Justices, Devin, I'm going to let you take it from here. Let's name them, starting with John Roberts.
And you do see these are the 4 justices, Kira, who attended last year's address by the president. You see Chief Justice John Roberts. He has never missed a State of the Union in 25 years. Elena Kagan, the only liberal in that group. Brett Kavanaugh, the president's second nomination to the court, and someone he has praised. Kavanaugh would have upheld the president's tariffs in that group. And Amy Coney Barrett, the youngest conservative, she has taken a lot of fire from conservatives.
What do you think about Barrett?
So far in the president's first year of his second term?
You know, I haven't done much
But there she is,
looking into him, to be honest with you.
first official State of the Union address.
I mean, I know that she's Catholic, but then she has like, you know, a bunch of adopted children that are ethnic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When he didn't get what he wanted from the highest court in the land.
I mean, I guess that's what you're
Actually,
supposed to do. I mean,
I think a bunch of aren't like 3 or 4 of the Supreme Court justices Catholic?
I think you're right.
Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, Barrett. I'm not sure about the other ones, but yeah.
And on the way out, he's shaking their hands in the past. We'll see if they do that again. But it's important to remind everybody, Kira, as we watch the speech tonight, the president has had an overwhelmingly successful winning streak with this Supreme Court. In fact, of the unprecedented number of
we're only about 50 seconds behind live. I'm looking at the White House poll as well. This is the official White House.
I don't think I could have ever imagined this.
Just waiting on James any minute now. So it's 8 o'clock. Jeez.
He's mixing his strawberry martini as we speak.
Yeah, right.
To block his policy. So as much as he may be angry and agitated by the tariff decision,
I know we're behind. We're only behind by like 1 minute, and we're at 1.5x speed.
We'll catch up.
Again, here is live. This is live on the White House page. We're just watching. We're following along with the ABC page. That's all.
Tonight, in a time where everything is so political, where there's so much division in our country, how does President Trump break through?
Well, so looking at the poll right now, aliens is at 15%. Mexico's at 17%. War with Iran at 21%, and no Epstein mention at 45%. Barron's in there looking like a monster. Speaking of monsters, though, James, how's it going, man?
Going all right. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for holding down the fort for me.
A focus trip adopted a black kid too. His name is Richard. Wow. Well, James, this is for all the guys watching over on Focus Trip right now, this is the Redoubt crew. Normally Tuesday nights we stream over there. Let me go ahead and drop that link in chat. Once again, thank you to everybody hanging out over there right now. But yeah, this would normally be a Redoubt stream, but James was like, no, it's a political topic. It's got crossover. So now, there we go. We got some more guys coming out. You made it just in time. So we are doing a Redoubt X Focus Trip stream or a Focus Trip X Redoubt stream.
Yeah, no, I thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be fun to do a crossover since I know that there's a lot of overlapping interests between the audiences here. And yeah, I figured, John, if you're going to be streaming anyway, you might as well, get some super chat money while you're doing it.
Yeah, right. It's like, I'm fine. I'm going to be here anyways. Yeah, there's Marco Rubio, the soon-to-be God Emperor. I do like the Marco Rubio memes where every time something in the world happens, it's like Marco Rubio finding out that he has to be the new JNG member or gang leader. So we're basically caught up to live again. President's not out yet. We're like 10 seconds behind. So we were just following along with the ABC until the president actually makes his way out.
Yeah, no, I was listening in.
What's your prediction, James? What do you think this is gonna entail, mostly?
So I think I am curious to see what he says about the economy. I'm curious to see what he says about Epstein and the tariffs. I'm curious kind of what his take is. I was listening to what you were saying earlier, John, about you think that he might be mad about the tariff stuff. I don't know if he's going to be mad, but I do wonder kind of what his response will be. The Iran stuff is also big right now, so he could even break news in terms of kind of his thoughts on that or what he plans to do. So I think there's a lot that could happen that would be very interesting. One thing in terms of the economy, I am curious what tact he takes because a lot of people don't feel like it's particularly strong. I think that there are actually a lot of fundamental strengths right now in the economy, but in terms of politically how you're supposed to address the economy, it's always tricky because what you don't want to do is what the Biden administration did for years, which is when everyone was feeling like the economy was terrible, just tell them that they're missing it. Like, actually, the economy is great, and you're just too stupid to know it.
Right. Ignore gas prices, ignore food prices. The economy's doing great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so right now, I think that the underlying.
Oh my gosh! Sorry, I just got jump scared by looking at the screen and seeing Lutnick on there.
Yeah.
That guy needs to go.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be disappointed at all if he was out. I didn't realize how long his hair is in the back. He's got a little like mullet going, like an extreme mullet, where it's just bald on top and then long hair in the back.
RFK, all right.
Nice.
The mogger in chief, the chief mogger.
So yeah, no, I think it'll be an interesting speech. I think that there's a lot that is hard to predict exactly what tack Trump is going to take. So I'm curious.
Yeah, I think in the poll still no Epstein mention is winning at 50% basically, and then we got now it's switched aliens, war with Iran, and then Mexico. So I think aliens would be interesting because I don't believe in aliens. I think it's the biggest psyop out there. I think it's silly, but it could be fun. All right. Well, he made a big stink about it the other day about declassifying some UAP stuff. There's my former governor, Kristi Noem. She's had a lot of work done to that lady. Before we get there, though, I do want to grab these couple super chats because I think he's about to come in. Cody Fisher for $20 just puts up the cross. Mega Base. Hope you're doing well out there, Cody. Having a great night. Appreciate you hanging out, sir. $20 is Mega Base. Lightsport for 2 says my poly bet on World War looks like it's gonna lose. Yeah, I mean, if you were gonna try and have it, because again, some of the leaks were saying war with Iran Monday, Tuesday. Spoiler alert: it's Tuesday night and no war with Iran yet. So, if you were making a bet there, you're probably gonna lose. I mean, maybe he announces something during the stream, or maybe he says, hey, I think Iran's a real problem, and he's trying to ease people into the idea of something kinetic happening overseas. Focus Stream Gunner 1488 says, 3 nights in a row goes hard. Something else is, too. All right. Ronnie Dzelengetsky, I have never seen you here before, sir. Or at least I don't remember it, but for $50, that is incredibly based of you, sir. Shoot. How about this one? This is a good one.
We're gonna have to come over to your house and kill you. No two ways about it.
Thank you. It's for $50, says Christ
What
is
is that
king.
from?
It's just like a nice interview with an old man, and he's just sitting there. The original clip is much longer, and then he's like, huh, well, interesting. I suppose I have to come to your house and kill you. No two ways about it. It's just like a nice old man saying that. But thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate that. $50. Thanks for hanging out, good sir. Gloop, member for 4 months. The Dow is up, guys. Come on. Yeah. I think it's going to be at least +4 Dow mentions to Epstein mentions. At least a +4. So even if it's 4-0, I'm saying it's at least 4-0. Or at least +4. Thank you, Gloop. Chud for 2 says, more jobs here. Also, Trump, let's import Indians. See, that's another thing that I hate is when they quote job numbers and then you ask where those jobs are. It's like we added 100,000 retail jobs. We lost 50,000 manufacturing jobs. And we added a bunch of H-1Bs that count as jobs. It's like, I don't know if that's fair, if that's really what you wanted to say there. Thank you, Chud. Appreciate it, sir. Subarctic Psycho for 5 says, 3 days in a row. What do you think you are, a streamer or something? Too many for me. I'll sit this one out. God bless. Well, God bless you too, Subarctic Psycho. And I get the night off, apparently, from vague death threats. So thank you, Subarctic Psycho. I appreciate it. Here, is he almost here?
That is that he wants this to be a celebration of America's 250th anniversary, to talk about what he
true.
sees
I forgot
as
it is the 250, isn't it?
accomplishments of his
Yeah.
administration.
So I'm curious, before he comes out, if we have a second here, what do you guys feel about the State of the Union in general? Because I feel like conservatives are kind of split. Some people like the pomp, some people like the pageantry, but other people really dislike it. They find it very monarchical and just distasteful all around, or just extremely boring. I'm kind of in between, but I'm curious what you guys think.
Personally, I like it. So I think it's important to have a communication between your leaders and your populace, right? Especially in this, republic democracy that we have here, where they're supposed to be accountable to us. So having a yearly formal meeting where the president comes out and says what his plan is for the year, I like that idea, right? So he's going to make a lot of promises. He's going to make a lot of claims here, and it's kind of like a campaign stop, but you're already elected, right? So you're essentially like giving the plan for the year to your nation, which I don't hate the idea of that, right? It's the same thing as if like a king made an address and he's like, all right, I know we have XYZ problems and here's how we're going to fix them. And, president, he's the big guy in charge. So, I mean, I like the idea of him having a segment where he comes on and just says, this is where we're going. This is the direction we're going in. Now, of course, in modern politics, it's mostly pomp and circumstance and nonsense. Trump is a very good talker. Him actually accomplishing things is a little bit different. But in theory, I like the idea. Because, I mean, what are they just never supposed to talk to us or say anything to us, right?
Right. Well, and I think officially they're allowed to just submit a written letter, right? That's the Constitution requires them to give an address, but it doesn't have to be a public verbal address. But yeah, no, I like the fact that we lean into it with the whole ceremony, and I think even the kind of monarchical trappings of it don't bother me because the president is the closest thing we have to a king-like institution, and this is part of the checks and balances that we have. Is we are not a monarchy, but we do have the administrator, the chief executive, who is filling that centralized role, and then we have other powers that are co-equal that balance it, which is what makes us not a monarchy. But I think that for the chief executive to lean into that aspect in an appropriate way, and a thing that forces him essentially to address the people, and yes, they use it to bullshit us very often, but even that is helpful because it gives us a forum to call them out.
Did you see that sign that said black people aren't apes? Somebody was holding a sign in the crowd.
In the crowd? No way.
Yeah, go back 10 seconds, dude. Go back 10 seconds. Black people aren't apes.
No way.
Yeah.
That's insane. In 2026, somebody is in the hall with a sign that says black people aren't apes. Oh wait, is this in regards to the Barack Obama ape meme?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Also, I do have to say something in chat. Let's see, where did it go? Where did he go? So Art Vandelay for 2 says, will Donald J. Trump be later than focus to a normal stream? Donald Trump was 8 minutes late, all right? If the president of the United States can be 8 minutes late to his own address, I should get some leeway in being late as well, okay?
I'm actually surprised he was that on time. I expected it to take longer. All right, guys, before we get going here, I was just going to say, before we get going here, if you do want to go over to the Redoubt stream, boost the numbers over there a little bit, be the exact same stream, and we would appreciate it. But
I am dropping the link to the Redoubt stream in the Focus Trip chat. So shouted it out like 3 times. You can head over to Redoubt. It's the same thing, but better. But better.
Tonight is the president's best chance to defend his first year back and try to sway skeptical voters to back Republicans in the upcoming midterms. He needs to convince Americans.
Oh, I'd have a smile that big on my face too if I was receiving $1 million checks from Ariel Edison.
Well, I think was the number 250 million?
Yeah, something like that.
And of course, as we've been discussing, this comes just 4 days now after the court delivered that devastating blow right to the heart of his economic agenda by invalidating most of his sweeping tariffs.
This term affordability really gets
it's a lot. A lot of money. Also, hey, Tom Foe, hope you're having a good night. We could get Tom Foe on. Get his predictions for all this. He's a political commentator. Got some great takes. Could be fun. Of course, he's probably busy doing something cool.
I just want to point your attention at home.
Members of Congress have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you the President of the United States.
There you have it, the Speaker of the House with George Washington's gavel tonight, introducing President Trump. Let's listen.
think the hockey guy started that.
Oh, see, Tom is
thank you
being
very
based,
much,
and he's
everybody.
watching on
It's
Redoubt
really
right now.
An honor, Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, First Lady of the United States.
Did y'all see the Melania movie?
No, sir.
No. I know it did good numbers for a documentary. Like, I think it was the best January opening for a documentary. Barron is a freak, isn't he?
So tall.
It's like 16 and 6'7". 6'7".
Second Lady of the United States.
I always forget what she looks like. Because, like, Melania is, like,
Members
obvious,
of
right? Because the whole
Congress
history and
my fellow
Playboy model
Americans.
and everything. But then I'm like,
Our
oh, yeah,
nation
there's another
is
wife.
back. Bigger, better, richer,
We're
and
so back.
stronger than ever before. Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious American independence. This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America.
I love how right down the middle it
When I
is.
last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
Some of those guys, it's the only exercise they get, standing up, standing up and sitting down after every statement.
Some heavy breathing going on afterwards.
This is the worst part about the
Oh,
State of
he
the
has
Union.
the
he's getting kicked
sign.
out.
That's the guy. Yeah.
Oh,
Fight,
he's the one who was
fight,
kicked
fight
out
breaks
last
out.
year.
Go back to where
He was
got
literally
kicked out
kicked
again,
out.
dude.
Very short time ago. We're not going
Get that
back.
ape out. No, I'm just kidding.
Today our border is secure.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Thank you. Today our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
I'm going to take notes so
After
I can
4
ask the
years
chat after this.
In which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
I don't know about American history, but that certainly in recent history, that is true. It's actually been a bit of a problem for him because he solved it so early that now it's not even an issue.
Well, now he's got to work
In
on
the
the
past 9
deportations,
months,
right?
Exactly.
Zero
That's a lot less
illegal
popular.
aliens have been admitted to the United States.
Yeah, but how many H-1Bs? or take an American job.
Right. Well, that's the problem too, right? Is legal immigration can 10x, and he'll still claim that, oh, we're even more American now. It's like,
But
well,
we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country.
Yeah, but Americans are too stupid to put together missiles. Remember that?
The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year. And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years, year 1900. In fact, substantially before my wonderful father, I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born, substantially before he was born. That's a long time ago. He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
What I can tell, it is very
gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor. It was quite honestly a disaster. Is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
Thanks, Venezuela.
Yeah. No, gas is decent. Gas has been cheap.
Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year.
Yeah, inflation hasn't done what people predicted it would do.
Rates will solve the
It's hard to tell if it's just
well, at the same time
stagnant or if it's
protecting
actually
the values
improving.
of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both. And we are going to keep it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year.
+1.
Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the last administration got less than $1 trillion in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
Hey,
I'd like to know how that's a good thing.
Say that again, John.
Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes.
Right, but foreign investment, just for the sake of foreign investment, like, is that necessarily a good thing?
A short time ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
I'm curious if he's going to mention AI, because I do think that's part of what's causing a lot of the dyspepsia in the nation right now, is there's just a lot of uncertainty about how that's going to affect the everyday man. Even the market right now, some AI companies are up, some AI companies are down, so I'm really curious if
we have added 70,000
tries to steer a narrative around
construction
that.
jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger. Nobody can believe what they're watching. American oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than $80 million barrels of oil. American natural gas production is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill.
This speech could be like 30 minutes long if there weren't all the applause lines.
Oh, I know.
More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that. Any time in the history of our country, more working today. And 100% of all jobs created under my administration have been in the private sector.
I mean, that is true. We do have the smallest federal workforce in a long time.
Which that gets taken out of the job numbers, like that those count as jobs lost, but that's actually a net gain for the American people.
Right.
And so the job numbers are actually lower, or they're kind of
better than what they
deflated.
see.
Exactly. Yeah.
We cut a record number of job-killing regulations, and in 1 year we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
See, I'd like to know if that's actually true, though.
And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
Say I don't know. Like that's 1% of the population off of food stamps.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much. We can't take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, no, no. You're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is
Xbox
a group of
360,
winners
Mike.
who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
Trump getting too hot in the mic.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We won at sports ball. But anyways, how does that fix the
No
$20
ball
billion
hockey.
of fraud in Minnesota?
Hey, I'll take beating Canada.
True.
I just wish we could go and beat them militarily too. I just take it over. Someone was saying the guy who lost his teeth should make a gold teeth out of the Olympic medal. I think that's
There
a
you
good
go.
idea.
I would go hard.
Yeah. Did anyone watch that game?
I just saw the highlights. I like the crowd reaction when the Canadians realize it's over. It's that slow fade into despair.
Did you see that the Canadian Olympic team got handed like plush
Stuffed animals?
Stuffed animals. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know if that's
I'm
just something they
familiar
give to the second place team because they also did that to their women's team as well. Hey, some of the Democrats are standing up too. That's cool. At least they're happy about winning at sports.
See, I do like this. I think this is fun. I'll take
You're
patriotism
celebrating your
wherever we
nation
can get it.
winning, you know, against other nations. It's cool.
That hockey team isn't very diverse, though.
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up.
No.
And actually, not all of them did get up. But they beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
Total hockey domination. Hey, Brass Facts. Hope you're having a good night tonight, sir. Some of those guys look so nerdy, and they're like killers on the ice, you know?
Before, and I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote of the team. I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
This is going to be the rest of the speech. Is just hockey gold medals. All right, bye, guys. Everything's great. We'll see you later. Anyways.
Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off. Do you practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case my vote was more important, that I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
You should give it to a couple ICE agents, too. You should give it to the hockey guy and the 2 ICE agents involved in the shooting.
Oh, speaking of ICE, I did hear that there's supposed to be a couple, the Democrats will bring in some illegal aliens into their section. I think it'd be hilarious if we had some, like, live deportations.
Well, I mean, we got one person kicked out already.
That's true. I don't think he'll be deported, unfortunately.
And I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no. And every single one of them rapidly put up their hand. So I want to thank you. What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
No, Trump does old man talk, right? He's old man charisma boomer talk, all right? Which is fine. If you've hung out around a lot of old people who are good at talking, that's exactly how they speak.
I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
Oh, better clean that poop up.
Yeah,
better get started.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah, sweep up the used fentanyl needles and the AIDS needles and the poop, and we'll be good to go.
It's okay. They clean up when foreign people are coming into town.
Well, special foreign people. There's plenty of foreign people in Los Angeles.
That's true.
Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
Is that true? Because I know D.C. was so
and
trashy.
I must say, I got them both.
Well, I know that the
first
crime
term,
rate, even
and I
like
was
lefty people were having
disappointed
to
because I didn't think
acknowledge
I'd
the
be
crime rate drop.
The president when this happened, but strange things took place, and now I've got them because I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the
I thought that was in
Olympics
Mexico.
coming, and that is exciting news.
I don't know.
I think we're getting the Winter Olympics here as well, the next one.
Where would that be? Park City?
Like
So this will be a year to
Yeah.
celebrate our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart. At age 17, Buddy volunteered to defend America in World War II, serving in the Pacific under the great General Douglas MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star, came home, started a family, and tonight he is in the gallery looking forward to July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
Not a lot of them left.
No.
Good for you, bro. 17 years old, fighting in the most brutal front imaginable.
So, buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly.
He's almost as close to 1776 as he is now when he was born.
Girls' summer camp in Central Texas, one of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there. Rising 26 feet in the matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives. You all remember that one. As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die.
Yeah, that
Those
is funny
prayers
that they
were
put the
answered when Coast Guard
camera on the
rescue
wrong
swimmer Scott
veteran
Ruskin
at first.
descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Billy Kate, but 164 others to safety.
That sounds like the Hacksaw Ridge guy. Is that who it is, or someone else?
No, that was Desmond.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Is he still alive?
I don't think so. That'd be an interesting story to cover too, actually, just because of his
People
religious
watched
beliefs.
Scott from a distance, and they couldn't
didn't
believe
pull out
what
the
they were
diverse
seeing.
veterans.
The winds were blowing,
Tragic.
the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow, that's something. Tonight,
Wow.
Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate.
See, I mean, like, that's really heartwarming and touching. You have an American hero, you know, pulling girls out and saving them, reunited and celebrated in front of the country. Like, that's cool, okay? I like that element. That makes me feel patriotic, all right? It's everything happening behind the scenes that drags it down for me.
And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was, extraordinary heroism. Thank you. And I'd like to have the military aide to please come down and take care of the service. Military aid, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service. Thank you very much. From 1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And they're really doing it for the next generation. But now it's our turn. Together we're building a nation where every child has the chance to reach higher and go further, where government answers to the people, not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America for our 250th year. Last year, I urged this Congress to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
Did you guys get any tax cuts, or are these business tax cuts?
I haven't done my taxes yet. I need to.
Because I didn't get any additional tax cuts. I mean, maybe I think it was $200 per child. That went up $200, but I think that was basically it.
Every single one of them
I think it's pretty
voted
similar, but the main thing is that they
against these
extended
really
the
important
Trump
and
tax
very
cuts that were going to expire this year.
massive tax cuts.
So it could have gone much higher.
They wanted large-scale tax increases to hurt the people instead. But we held strong, and with the great, big, beautiful bill, we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on
Okay,
Social
that's actually fair. I did save $29,000 in tips in 2025. Yeah,
That's true, because Super Chats count as tips, right? That's
Super Chats are
significant.
tips for digital content creators. So yes, that was $29,000
And I am
in
gonna-
non-taxable.
I think I'm going to get some
And we
overtime
also made
refund as well.
interest
So
on
that'd
auto
be
loans
cool.
tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America.
It's kind of cool.
That's a couple of cool things, right? So we're making it easier on the American, like, middle-class worker. It's very middle-class or even lower-class
Recently in
coded, right?
Pennsylvania,
Overtime,
I met
tips, stuff like
Megan
that.
Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening, and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more
Right.
than half.
But I wish the economy wasn't in a place where I had to have 2 jobs and depend on overtime and tips tax cuts, right?
Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan.
I mean, good for you. Like, very based, homeschooling your kid. I like the homeschooling propaganda. Wonderful. But I also wish that your husband could work on a
Thank
single
you,
income.
Megan. We're fighting for you, Megan.
don't we all?
Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it.
I like these. The Trump accounts are cool.
I did not name that.
What are the Trump accounts?
So it's basically a tax deferred,
Nobody believes me, but I did
like
not name it.
401k,
Made
but
by a
for
very
kids.
tall
So you
man
get it. It's like
sitting
up
in
to
the
18 years
fair.
old, and if your kid is
Nice
born
way to
between
do that.
now and when Trump leaves office,
Tax-free
unless it gets
investment
extended,
accounts
then the
for
kid gets
every
$1,000
American child.
automatically
This is
deposited
something
in the
that's so
account.
special and is
Oh.
taken
So yeah,
off
if
and
anyone
gone
has a
through
kid
the roof.
between, yeah, I think
Millions will be
anytime. I think it
pre-funded
might
courtesy
even
of the US Treasury
work
and private
retroactively,
individuals like
maybe a little bit,
Michael
but from
and
now
Susan
until Trump
Dell,
leaves, go
who
ahead and
have
sign up for a Trump account because you get a free
donated
$1,000.
Sure.
$250 million
Didn't know
to
that. Cool.
fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children. They're great people.
And it's not just coming from taxpayer dollars. It's actually a lot of companies contributed to it and have donated money. It's kind of cool.
Well, again, what should my tax dollars be used
When I
for?
asked Michael
Like
Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my
EBT
dorm
or
school,
children investments, like
and
children
computers,
investments, of
and
course.
I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling. And pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that. But I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad. So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over
getting less and less,
100,000. It could be
though.
much more than that. To make this investment in our children's future, go to trumpaccounts.gov, trumpaccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. It's setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the biggest in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule, and the S&P hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years.
He put to Pam. That's funny.
Good timing. Thank you, ABC.
Hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not
Venezuela
making
made a
money
great
like they
deal.
used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't.
Now get the demon
They got
off
it
my
totally
screen,
wrong.
please.
They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, he's powerful.
Unfortunate
Country-saving.
involvement.
It's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in. Peace protecting. Many of the wars I settled
Is that
was
Alito?
because of the threat of...
No, that's Roberts. That's
Been able to
Roberts.
settle
That's
it.
Roberts.
Roberts looks old.
Will remain
He
in
is old.
place
He's
under
been
fully
the
approved and
centrist
tested
for like 20 years
alternative
now.
legal sets.
He has
For 25
aged
years.
a lot since
They've
I
been
last checked
tested
in.
for a long time. They're a little more complex, but they're actually probably
She's still
better,
cute.
leading to a solution that will be even stronger.
It's a married
than
woman
before.
with children. Jake.
Congressional action
So
will not be necessary.
It's not even
Already
MILF, that's
time-tested
GILF.
and approved.
All right.
And
all
as
right.
time goes by, I believe that
I didn't make it
tariffs
sexual.
paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern
SCOTUS tier list by cuteness.
taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
James has faced.
James, yeah.
Moving forward, factories, jobs, investment, and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. I put America first. I love America.
The
Great
Dems stand for
DFP.
that one? For loving America?
For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New Scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the millions and millions from prisons, from mental institutions. They were murderers, 11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. And record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly use the word affordability, a word. They just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused and created the increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You caused that problem. You caused that problem.
Base, call him out, get him. But it's funny when he's doing the same thing but in a different way, right? Because the Democrats will let in 10 million illegal aliens and open the border, and then Trump will just do 10 million H-1B visas. It's like, so you're both screwing us over. We just get different flavors of the same thing. Is that fine? Yeah, oh my gosh. This is probably the most exercise he's ever gotten in one night, standing up and down.
We are doing really
Bring a
well.
forklift down the aisle to get him in. A Native American.
Yeah.
The price of eggs is down
Oh, here we go. Eggs.
60%. Madam Secretary, thank you.
I mean, eggs are cheap.
The cost of chicken,
And they used to be
butter,
so
fruit,
expensive because my
hotels,
family,
automobiles,
like I
rent
buy 3-4 dozen
lower
eggs a
today
week
than when I took office
for my
by a lot.
family. And
even
so when they were
beef,
$5,
which was
$6 a
very
dozen,
high,
like that
is
was
starting
rough.
to
But
come
now it's
down
like
significantly. Just hold on a
$3
little while,
a
we'll get
dozen,
it down.
$2.50 a
Soon
dozen.
You will see numbers that
Surprised you don't
few
have chickens.
people would think were
Well, I need to have
possible
property for
achieve
that, but
just a
we will
short time
eventually, yeah, for sure.
ago. Nobody can believe when they see the kind of numbers, and especially energy, when they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot believe it. It's like another big tax cut. I'm also confronting one of the biggest ripoffs of our times, the crushing cost of health care caused by you. Since
Points
the
it all
passage of the Unaffordable Care Act.
No, you should be like, you know what we did to the last healthcare CEO that crossed me?
It was meant for the insurance companies, not for the people. With our government giving
Gotta go Luigi Mangione on your
hundreds
ass.
of billions of dollars a year as their stock
Watch your
prices
back.
soared 1,000, 1,200, 1,400, and even 1,700%, like nothing else.
Big numbers.
That's why I introduced the great health care plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at a much lower cost.
I mean, maybe I just live in a small city or a small state, but like I haven't had healthcare for a long, long time. I pay for it for my family, but I've been poor enough that I get it relatively
In addition,
cheap.
my plan requires maximum price transparency. That's a big deal. Sounds so simple, so big. And I did that in my first term, and the Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened. And now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else. I'm also ending the wildly inflated cost of prescription drugs like has never happened before.
I do think the pharmaceutical industry does need to be taken on, but I wish somebody would actually address the root cause
Other presidents
of like
tried to do
still
it,
85,000
but they
Americans
never
that die a
could.
year of
They tried.
overdoses.
Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action. But I got it done. Under my just enacted most favored nation agreements, Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere. The lowest price.
Yeah, this is important. I don't know the ins and outs and kind of the economics behind this particular ruling, but the reason why all these other countries brag about their health care,
second term,
being universal and being less expensive
be
is
my
because
third
we
term.
subsidize it all with all of our innovation, because we have more of a free market in terms of the
prescription
pharmaceuticals.
drugs,
There's a lot of problems that
a
come with
very
that
big
as
part
well.
of healthcare,
But
from the highest price in the entire world.
hopefully this helps
to the
bring the
lowest.
prices down
That's
for
a
us.
big
It doesn't
achievement.
stop the
The
innovation.
result is price differences of 300, 400, 500,
I prefer the
600% and more.
preventative type
All
of medicine.
available right now at a
Like
new
actually just
website
being
called
relatively healthy,
TrumpRx.gov,
eating
and I
relatively
didn't
well,
name that one either, by
not
the way.
eating poison foods all the time. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I mean, really, RFK is 100% correct when there is a obesity epidemic in America, like 50%
that big discount, and it
obese
is
with
big.
like 30%
Catherine
morbidly
Raynor.
obese.
Oh yeah,
For
the
5
crap we eat
years,
is
she
just
and her
horrible.
husband have
It's awful,
struggled
yeah.
with
We're better at keeping people
infertility,
alive, but
and they
we
turned
create so
to
many problems that we
IVF.
he could avoid.
It's people are only allowed to get this big and this unhealthy because of the crazy medical
But a few weeks
advancements we've
ago,
made.
she logged onto the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500, a reduction of much more, actually, than $3,500. Catherine, we are all praying
People
for you,
arguing
and
about
you're
peptides in
going
the
to
chat.
be a great mom.
Peptides are such Zoomer coded stuff, dude. Just do steroids, dog, all right? Be a man. Back in my day, we did 500 milligrams of test and forgot about it.
Who's this chick?
Catherine Rayner, a Trump RX customer, talking about how much money she saved. Right?
So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing I'm not sure it matters, because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is? We're telling the major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory, so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community, and very substantially down. This is a unique strategy.
That guy's happy.
never
He's
used
getting
in this
kickbacks.
country
You know he
before.
just bought some
We have an
AI
old grid. It
stocks.
could
He
never
just
handle the
invested
kind
10
of
million in Nvidia. He's like,
numbers,
yeah,
the amount of
baby.
electricity that's needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity.
I'm
while
not
at the
sure this
same
is good for
time
AI companies. I feel like
lowering
this
prices
is
of electricity
putting
for
more
you.
cost
It
out
could
there.
be very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen
Maybe
over
not,
the
though.
next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream. that
Like
has
if they're
been
allowed
under
to build
attack
their
is
own power
homeownership.
plant rather than having to
With us
negotiate
tonight
with
is
somebody else, like
Rachel
think about how much
Wiggins, a mom
power
of
that
two
gives
from
them.
Houston.
Like
She
power
placed
is their
bids
biggest
on 20
expenditure
homes and
outside of
lost all
hardware.
those
It's
bids
power,
to
especially over the
gigantic
long
investment
run.
firms
So if
that
they can control their
bypassed
own
inspection,
costs
paid
and
all
sell it to the
cash,
local
and turned
populace,
those houses
right?
into
As long as it
rentals,
maintains the
stealing
same
away
rate,
your
like that could be, that's a
American
lot of
dream. She
power
was
for an AI
devastated.
company.
Stories like this are why
Literally
last
and
month I
metaphorically.
signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up into thousands single-family homes.
All right, if he announced the
now I'm
disassembling
asking
of BlackRock,
Congress
he would get my vote
make
for
that
28.
ban permanent, because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Raysel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one soon.
Yeah, can you help out young Americans that want to start families? That'd be great.
We're also
I don't think
working to
BlackRock
make it
needs another
easier
10
for
trillion.
Americans to save for retirement, and under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
When's the bill going to come due on all that?
I told my parents this because my parents are, you know, older. They talk about it all the time. And I'm like, I'm just not retiring. Like, you get that, right? Like, it's never happening. I'm going to work and save, and if I don't save enough, I die.
Millions and
All
millions
right,
of
that's what it's going to
because
be.
The stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year. As we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market, let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
Good luck with that.
Nobody's gonna be happy with that one, considering I looked Nancy Pelosi the other day, her stock portfolio year over year up 232%. Don
She's
Crenshaw,
really good.
Don Crenshaw up 154%. All right, even though he has very little investments, right? He doesn't even know what he's investing in.
I can't believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here?
Base. That's right. Get him.
The Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
So yeah, stuff like that. I enjoy the rhetoric. That's good. Get him. Get your opponent. Rub it in their face.
Where Trump really shines.
Yeah.
And he's great at this kind of thing, the showmanship.
I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed.
We'll call it his own boys. Do it. Yeah. Get them both.
Corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota, where members of the Somali community have pillaged and estimated
call them by
$19
name,
billion
yeah.
from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that shreds the fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe. So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led
I thought he was
by
going to say the
our
war
great
on Minnesota.
Vice President J.D. Vance.
Shut up, Ilhan. You married your brother, okay? You need to be kicked out. The fact that you're here at all disturbs me greatly. So you're right. Good rhetoric. Yeah, go get them. Deport them all. I don't care. And their protected status. No more green cards.
That's already the thing is he declares a war on fraud, yet he pushes the majority of ICE out of Minnesota to appease.
I know. That's the problem.
We will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget. The Somali pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where bribery, corruption, and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures
she owns a $15 million winery that doesn't exist. It's only on paper.
And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance, rent.
Separate the
taxes,
Americans
and
from the
perhaps most
Somalis.
importantly,
Perfect.
crime. We will take care of this problem. We're going to take care of this problem.
Any Woods in the chat? Any Woods in the chat?
No, she's hard on the eyes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't buy her a gym membership.
I don't think it's going to help that face, dog.
No.
Delilah Colton was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up.
No, yeah, the trucking companies need to be held accountable for all of this. Like every week, there's a story about, oh, Indian trucker who couldn't speak English kills 4 people on the highway. But good for her. It's also really good rhetoric because she's, not white. So the Democrats, like, from a rhetoric perspective, it's good optics. What are they supposed to do? Accuse you of racism?
Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens.
See, how is that every time a new law gets passed or proposed, it's like, how is that not a thing? What? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
already on the books.
It's actually nuts. It's like, Stop Somalis from Raping Children Act. It's like, wait, what?
I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Elizabeth's killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them.
The entire time staring at the Democrats, which, I mean, yeah, it's good optics. It's how you play the room. Never going to get your daughter back, but I'm very sorry about that.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you. We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you. As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice, we'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Put him on the spot. How about a wide-angle shot?
Like 4 or 5 standing, couple centrists, about it.
Despicable. Yeah. See, that's great showmanship. What a great face.
Isn't that guy like getting brought up on charges due to the military for the stupid things that he said? Right, saying that people need to disobey their leaders.
Oh,
right,
is that
the major guy, colonel guy, isn't that him? That's why they keep going back to him.
Maybe so. I don't recognize him.
Being investigated, yeah.
Speaking of investigations and scandals, seems like Brandon Herrera might actually have a chance.
Might have. I mean, I don't know how he doesn't win. He was so close
Right,
last time, and now with everything
He's got all these
happening
scandals.
with Gonzalez, right? I don't know how he doesn't get it.
You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords,
What a class act, dude.
murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal
Impulse control?
of these people
Yeah.
out
Women.
of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Listen and learn. A black woman is speaking.
We unironically should deport Ilhan Omar.
Like, actually.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, she's a fraudster.
Yeah. I mean, I think that could be popular too. Like, it would use up some political capital, but I don't know. I think it could really do it.
All you have to do is investigate her for her
And perhaps
fraudulent
most
marriage to her brother.
importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act.
Yeah, not living up to, not helping the stereotype about being loud and in closed spaces.
And others who are unpermitted persons from voting
Who's the ghoul?
in our sacred American elections. The cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID.
Again, it's one of those things where like almost every other first world country has this already, so it's good, it's great. Yeah. I love how in Mamdami's New York, to shovel snow, you need 2 forms of ID and your social security card.
It was like, 3 or 4.
It's and 2 photos printed out, but nothing to vote. Wild. He's our ghoul.
Nick Shirley recently like exposed that like a literal dog voted in the last election or something.
Or travel. None.
That's how bad it is.
It's always when somebody says that fraud has never happened that some wild case of fraud gets exposed like over and over again. Like, listen, no fraud ever existed in 2020. Then somebody gets indicted in 2025, like 5 years later, somebody gets indicted for it.
Well, I love the lines where it's like, well, there are so few cases of this that have been proven. And you say, okay, so how would we identify those cases? Oh no, we can't do that. We reject all of the potential ways of identifying the fraud. It's like, well, obviously it's gonna be underreported.
We never looked into it, so it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
And a social security card. Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America.
Scalise always looks very unassuming, but that guy took like 3 bullets, didn't he?
Both Republicans and
At that
Democrats
softball game?
overwhelmingly
Yeah,
I don't know how many,
agree
but I know
on
he
the
was shot, yeah.
policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation.
Is that
right
Schumer?
now,
He
and
looks
it should
so
be
That's
bad.
Schumer.
before
He
anything else
does.
He just looks
happens.
fat.
He turns more and more into the penguin every day. Who's the other one? The other penguin-looking guy? Right, short, fat, like
Yeah, I know
super
what you're talking
wide.
about. Yeah.
I forget his name, but he literally looks like the
Nadler or something like that?
Nadler, that's the one, yeah.
And the reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things. You almost say, what imagination.
Aunt Jemima
they have.
in the crowd.
They want to cheat. They have cheated. And their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat. And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John. And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University. Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
I don't know what that symbol is, but listen, every single person in the chat would fold instantly, okay, for the slightly off goth girl. But yeah, I mean, she's a teenage girl, and that has got to be so uncomfortable.
And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things
it's a
like
good story,
this?
but man, that would be so
15
awkward.
years ago, if somebody was
Well,
up
and
there and said that,
she's
they'd
probably
say,
been here for like 4
"What's
hours,
wrong
right?
with him?"
She's like, you're going to stand
And
for
now
2
we have to say
seconds
it because it's
and then sit back
going
down.
on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely
That's
we can
the
all
e-girl
agree
version
no
of
state
clapping.
can be allowed to rip
No,
children
but good for her.
from their
Honestly, that is a
parents' arms
horrible
and
situation. And
transition
look what
them to a
happens
new gender
when you just
against the
ignore
parents.
the
Well, who would
retards around
believe
you.
that we were
You just
talking about this? We
don't be
must
gay.
ban it, and we must ban it
I mean, and good on her for showing up and I mean, putting herself out there like that. Like that's a hard thing to admit in front of millions of people. But she's doing it, you know, presumably to help other people.
Look, nobody stands up.
Yeah.
These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
JD dying in the back. That's right. Ovation for crazy. Erica Kirk spotted. Is she? Is she there?
She's here.
She's
Yeah.
got to. She's got to come up at some point.
Boy, oh boy.
No, Daily Wire broke
We're
earlier
lucky
today.
we
Wait,
It's
have
just
a
gonna be.
country with
is
people like this.
one of the Democrats
Democrats are
complaining about
destroying
them
our country, but we
not
stopped it
transitioning a
just
young
in the
woman?
nick of time, didn't we?
They're really upset that they didn't
Probably.
get to cut off her breasts, which is like, yeah,
They almost had her.
yeah. Satan weeps for the child he lost.
No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady. Now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that? Over the past year,
Also a porn
she
star,
has
but
had
let's
an
not talk
incredible
about that
impact
as well.
championing AI legislation, advancing a landmark executive order on foster care, and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's a tremendous, really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot. Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation positioned to succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight we welcome two young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont. Thank you both, and Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much.
A giant.
Oh, Kushner, there he is. Why isn't Kushner next to his wife?
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal.
Yeah, tell your daughter about that too.
Yeah, the one that converted to Judaism and literally denied Christ. Not gonna look good on the resume at the end times, bro. Not gonna look good.
Is that Ivanka? Who did that?
Ivanka, yeah. Ivanka is Jared's wife, so that's why I was wondering why they weren't sitting next to each other.
My great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man.
That's a different demeanor than we've seen.
Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand. Thank you, Erica.
Did y'all see that Candace is at it again?
In Charlie's memory,
I have not kept up. What's the new thing with Candace?
She just dropped a trailer for a documentary expose on Erica.
Political violence of
Okay, there's some weird stuff in Erica's past, right? But maybe we should check that out after the State of the Union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love religion, and we love bringing it back, and it's coming back at levels that nobody actually thought possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made
in a way,
incredible
yeah, things have
strides,
gotten
yet
so bad that, yes,
dangerous
young
repeat
men
offenders
are
continue to be
seeking
released by
organized and
pro-crime
traditional religion in
Democrat
numbers that are,
politicians again and again.
growing
We're
beyond what
honored
the older
to
generations
be
are.
joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zarutska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina, fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people.
I think that was still the hardest one to watch of all the
No one will
killings
ever
this year.
forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She
Nobody
had
around her to
escaped a
help
brutal
her.
war only to be slain by a hardened criminal.
Everybody
set
shuffles
free
out
to
past
kill
her.
in America. Came
Well,
in
she's
through
just
open
last
doors.
leading out
of her
before.
life. Yeah.
Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina.
Go after the judges, please. Announce legislation about going after liberal judges who let these people out.
How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm
They
asking
really
this
not stand.
Congress to
Good
pass
grief.
tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there. Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen? In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago. They don't like to hear that. One of sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom.
Yeah, no, it's
After
way
a
down.
4-month
Cut in half in some
deployment,
cases.
She voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation. She was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Eva Lee. Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person. I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like her.
The very Mario-coded man.
So sorry. Thank you very much. A great young lady. I saw reports that were like, perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance, except his wonderful mother, named Melody, who I spoke to the same night. And she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone. But his mother said, no, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying. And after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melanie? She turned out to be right.
I wonder if he's going to bring up there's still one young lady in the hospital from the Canadian trans shooter. I don't know if that's applicable for this, but she's still in the hospital fighting for her life as well. No aliens, no Iran talk yet. Also, no Epstein mentioned.
Actually. I said,
You're not going to
where
hear
does
an
this
Epstein
woman
mention.
come from? She's the most positive
That's my
person I've
prediction.
ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much.
The prayers of a good mom availeth much.
So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and
Another
the
award?
great family of
Not
Sarah
service related.
Beckstrom, with the award created by our late, great
Claim
President
denied.
George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
Good for him.
That's awesome. No, it is funny. Trump does comment on the beauty of masculine figures more than any other president ever.
He just talks about hotness all the time.
Well, yeah, but
I think it's his pageant thing that he was into.
But it's mostly guys. I mean, I'm sure he does it for girls too. But it's really like, oh, I walked in, beautiful pilots. We have the most beautiful pilots. Specimens. I like it. I think it's endearing.
Now, see, Lightspore, that just means that you still have a soul underneath that hard, crushing exterior.
We love you all. Love you. We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars, including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? You're sick people. Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people, said the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
I forgot that
would
they
have died
fought
if
for
it
like
were
2
not
days.
For my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast things move.
Armenia and Azerbaijan.
Here comes Iran.
The Congo and Rwanda, and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared.
Still don't know what his voice sounds like.
Yeah, I've never heard him speak either.
And I also want to thank the man they report to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
Oh, man.
Marco just does not care.
He looks
Like,
so
all right.
tired.
All right, here we go.
All the
Thank you.
time.
He's like, anyways, I'm about to become the Shah of Iran, guys. All right. I'm already the president of Venezuela. We got more. Greenland next. Okay.
You know, Marco got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's
I'd
an
forgotten
honor
about
that
that
they feel that
for
way.
his
Right, Marco?
confirmation.
You have done a
He
great
just
job, great Secretary
cleaned the
of
house.
State. I think he'll go down as the best ever.
I wonder if Marco doesn't like that though, because he won't be remembered as a president, but as the Secretary of State to the man who beat him to be president.
I don't know. Some Secretary of States have a long-standing legacy. It's
Hillary
his
Clinton as
political
well.
career is nowhere near over.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's between Marco and Vance for 2028.
I don't think he's going to run in 2028, but he's got
Both living and dead. And those
future
parents
shots. Yeah, he's got time.
who
He's
had
young.
a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. That was an amazing period of time. And they came back, and when we got all of the living hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back. But we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug, and they dug, and they dug.
They should bring out a couple of the Delta
tough
Force
thing to
guys, like masked up.
Going through bodies all
Give them
over,
something for the Maduro raid.
passing up
That'd be kinda
100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found.
Full kit too.
Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back." What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job.
It's Matt Franco with a chair. Nancy Pelosi is down.
And we're working very
Tap out
hard
for
to
Ilhan.
end the ninth war, the
Yeah.
killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each and every month. Think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president, would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never
You are the
hesitate to
president.
confront threats to
Yeah, I
America
think it's a vote of BS.
wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer.
Cool name.
Operation Midnight Hammer, huh?
Operation Velvet Steel.
For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside
Is he describing
bombs.
Iran or Israel?
Kings of the
Hard to tell.
roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani.
Operation
I did
Hammered
that
by
during
Midnight.
My first term had a huge impact. He was the father of the roadside bomb. And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like 32,000 protests, 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from
See, this is
hanging a lot
the
of
softening
them
the blow
with
of,
the
oh, by
threat
the
of
way, we're striking Iran
serious
next week.
violence, but this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer,
Here's the warmonger.
they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue. They're starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again. And are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference.
Yeah, by the way, when I walked in was after we got the confirmation that that we bombed Iran. Iran is now glass.
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far,
Israel?
to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that
Oh,
happen.
sorry.
Yeah. It's funny when you look into the origins of the IDF and what 3 tribes formed them. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't think Hamas or ISIS or a lot of these places would have started either without
And no
Mossad
nation should ever doubt America's
assistance.
resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term. We're going to continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called peace through strength, and it's been very, very effective.
So he's definitely setting the stage.
Yeah, I mean, he's softening the blow where he's leading into something. The rhetoric's all on the table. This is all stuff we've heard before. I'm kind of interested if he drops some new
So
lore. I
thanks
mean,
to
the protests are new, of course. The
in
alleged
Congress,
30,000
investing
Iranian
that
civilians
record
dead.
number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. because, as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed, at my very strong request, to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 2.
Is that all we're going to get on Iran? Nothing else? All right.
And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done.
Lindsay
could not
is
happen. We got it
deeply
really
closeted.
easily. One meeting. And,
Deeply closeted.
Big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid.
Oh, she's looking rough, man.
Dude. Hey, she has a release the files patch. Okay, all right, all right. Now, keep in mind that she was Speaker of the House for 4 years and did absolutely nothing. But, you know, now that it's politically expedient.
Recruitment. This is so exciting. And every service member recently.
It's all just a setup from the Dems.
Yeah, Sabaton too. They're waiting for their next album to come out.
Yeah.
Conflicts
and new bangers.
Every member recently received a warrior dividend of $1,776.
Did you get a warrior dividend, Christian?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, okay, it's like where they gave service members $1,700, $1,776.
Other things, a lot of money we have.
Oh, that was like
I think it may have been
a
only
year ago, right?
That program a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah, was it only active? Okay.
But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and
Are you in the reserves?
Approval.
Chris?
And I said,
no longer.
$1,775. I said, wait a minute, for $1 more, we can have $1,776. It's going to. I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. $1 more. I said $1,776. And I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was 4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it. So we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it 1776. It was great. And we love our military. We love our law enforcement. We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen. We're also
Look at that beautiful clear ice.
Look at that.
We're also restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country.
Talk about Mexico.
From violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as
I would
foreign terrorist
1,000
organizations,
times
and I
prefer to
declared
go to war with
illicit
Mexican cartels
fentanyl as a weapon of
than
mass
Iran,
destruction.
yeah,
Iran.
for sure.
I'm telling you, Don Road Doctrine, Manifest Destiny, take Canada, take Mexico. Let's have the entire North American continent to ourselves.
I agree.
100% support it.
And with our new military
Do it at the same time.
campaign,
We can wage
have
war on
stopped
two fronts,
record amounts
unlike
of
Russia.
drugs coming
What are they
into
supposed to do to
our
us?
country and
What are
virtually
they supposed
stopped
to
it
do?
Completely coming in by water or sea. You probably noticed that.
Old Mexico. That's right. We got Old Mexico and New Mexico.
Nobody wants to go fishing anymore.
I mean,
we've also taken down one of the most
just take a page out of James Polk's playbook.
Yesterday.
Send some troops south of the border. Let them get shot at. Declare war. Easy three-step process.
Canada can't even beat us at hockey.
Yeah, you lost at hockey. We own your country now. That's the rules.
In January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in
January
world history.
6th?
No one's seen
Oh, different
anything like
January.
it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called
Was that-
me and they
what was
said,
that, the
very
7th? The 8th?
impressive. Very They couldn't believe. They all watched. They saw what happened. This is a different fighting force that we had years ago when we fought to tie. You know, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it.
Bring out the deltas. Bring out the deltas.
Space Force is my baby. as we did that. My baby is becoming so important.
I want to take Space
What
Force
about
seriously.
Eric and Don? Do you think they're going to have a real future in politics at all?
I mean, Don probably will.
I never played the Battlefield Hardline campaign, but I heard that is basically the storyline is some war with Mexico or cartel activity.
Good fighters. To end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice.
What if they wheeled him out?
She looks so sad. Yeah, the straight jacket, just wheel him out.
And this was an absolutely
Make him sit down on his hands and knees on the floor for the rest of the service.
Bright new beginning for the people
That would be
of
awesome.
Venezuela. We're working closely with the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries and to bring new hope
$2 billion
to those who
worth of oil.
suffered so terribly. They really did
Which
suffer.
we
With
give
us
like half
tonight
of his
is
reserves to Israel.
Alejandro
Maybe the number's wrong.
Gonzalez.
I know he gave us
I know Israel
Tight-knit
did get the first
Venezuelan
shipment, which is
family and was
wild that
especially close
it
to
went
the
overseas
beloved
to Israel. But we are getting, I think, up to $2 billion
But
of
after Enrique
oil from
ran for
Venezuela.
office and opposed
Be good for
Maduro,
Texas
he
jobs.
was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released, but he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down.
See, now that would be even more based if you had Maduro in chains on the floor and you have his political prisoners in the crowd. Like, I mean, that's why Vercingetorix killed himself, right? It's because he didn't want to be paraded around Rome, right?
Who?
Vercingetorix, Gaul opposition to Caesar.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique. There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro. Really great heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor.
I want the
Chief
videotapes.
Warrant Officer 5, Eric
be so cool.
Slover, planned the mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter. A big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many,
I love it.
many American
Trump's
warfighters.
favorite adjectives.
Wearing
Beautiful
his own
helicopter.
bags, his
Big,
wife,
round,
Amy,
bulbous.
had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one.
Blessed with holy water
Based.
before it
Steered
left.
the Chinook
Based.
under the cover of night.
I'm not
and
even a holy
descended
water guy,
swiftly
but that's
upon
based.
Maduro's heavily protected
Bring out the
military fortress. This
bring
was
out
a
the
major
bishops to bless the
military
helicopters before they go.
Yeah.
I mean, I
protected
see
by thousands
Orthodox
of
bishops
soldiers
blessing assault
and
rifles or
guarded by
AKs
Russian
before they
and
move
Chinese
out.
military technology. How did that work out? Not too good. While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces.
Damn.
And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight.
You have paddles for those things, yeah.
Legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter.
You have
To deliver the many
two
commandos
paddles.
rotor controls that are the pedals?
detained.
Yeah, two
Maduro
two
was the
pedals
only
on the
thing
floor, and then you have
Eric was thinking
stick and
about.
something else. So you kind of need
Then,
all 4
even as he
extremities.
was gushing blood,
Yeah, I
which
would
was
think the
flowing
paddles
back
control the
down
back,
aisle.
right?
Helicopter lands
The
on
Something
rotor,
like that,
yeah.
angle.
Or the tail
The
rotors,
machine
yeah.
gun stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, too.
At least that's how it
machine
has been
gunners.
played.
escaped the wrath
No
of the
Epstein. No
previous
Epstein yet,
planes.
John Browning Gun Club.
Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission. We probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets and keep on flying.
So we're about, what, 15 minutes from this breaking the record for
People knew
longest
what
State of
was
the Union
happening.
address?
Everybody in the back of the helicopter.
Well,
knew
if he's
'cause they
going
saw
to
the blood
bring, somebody
pouring
said
down
Medal
the
of
aisle.
Honor. If they're going to pin a Medal of Honor, this might
Chief
break the
Warrant
record.
Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife Amy, Eric,
They're going to
and
give him
Amy.
Medal of
Come
Honor,
on
probably.
in.
Have a good night, Ambient.
Yep, Medal of Honor.
Based.
And I'm
That
so
is
glad
a
the Army
Chad
went back to
jawline.
the, yeah. So glad the Army went back to the old school uniforms. The greens look so much better.
All right, now do Mexico.
So we have a surprise for Eric.
That's a lot of service stripes.
In recognition of Eric's actions
Well,
above and
160th
beyond the
pilot,
call
right? So
of
those are
duty,
like the best of the best.
I would now
Night
like
Star
to
recruits.
ask
Yep.
General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yeah, 20-inch neck, not
Yeah, Warrant
included
Officer.
for that.
The Warrant Officer 5s are very rare. You don't see those too often. I think the Army is the only branch that allows
Eric and
warrant officers
Amy.
to pilot
Great
aircraft.
to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their fellow warriors at Fort Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg. We have it back. We brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. And everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from that incredible night of victory will also be receiving medals at a private
Randy
ceremony
takes
that
the
will soon be
opportunity to
held at the
slam
White House.
Trench.
And Eric will be there.
No, but good for him, man. That is actually great for him. Like, think about basically the end of your military career with such a devastating injury in a flawless mission. You're almost the only casualty, and you get the Medal of Honor for it.
Yeah. Pretty fantastic.
Yep.
About as
Thank
good as a
you,
military
Eric.
operation can go,
That's a big
to be honest
one.
with you.
Tonight we've celebrated many truly
Police action.
extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor
Military
before
police,
we go.
world police, whatever it is.
He
World
is
police.
one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II,
Oh, is this
Korea,
Tuskegee?
Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952.
Bro, that was
Royce
back
in
when they
the
like legit had
dogfight
dogfights,
of a
right?
lifetime.
Like all
Legendary
the time.
dogfight.
That's insane.
Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7 Soviet fighter planes. It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years old, this brave
Wow.
Navy captain is finally
World
getting
War II,
the
Korea, and
recognition he
Vietnam.
deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
Wow.
2.
Wow.
The dichotomy. World War II vet gets a Medal of Honor and a Maduro raid Medal of Honor recipient. Say 120 combat missions.
That's awesome.
Was it 220? Insane number over 3 wars. Over 3 wars, 220 combat missions. From the era of propellers to the F-14.
Yeah.
I mean, F-14 was late 70s, right? In development, late 70s, early 80s, so it's very close. But that's the genre of planes that were coming out by the time he was retiring. Yeah, F-4s for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 1974. Yeah, so I mean, it's a possibility he flew a P-51 Mustang and an F-14 in one career.
Thank you, Royce, and thank you, Eric. I've always
He looks
wanted
pretty good
the
for 100.
Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed I'm not allowed to give it to myself, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't know why I'd be taking it. But if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday. But you know, that's our highest
Yay.
honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing, and it's an honor to be in the same room with you. Thank you both very much, Eric. Thank you. Thank you. 250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. 2 of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson drew his last breath. Just a single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes. In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror. Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel. And then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride. We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase, no horizon too distant for us to claim. For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C.
It's too bad all of our great
The
cities are
golden
turned to
age of
garbage.
America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues.
I'm surprised at how
because the
imperial
flame of
this
liberty and independence
part of the speech is.
still burns in the heart of every American patriot.
I like it. I'm here for it.
And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder,
No
and
shore
more
too distant
glorious
for us to
than
claim.
ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
No Greenland, no Epstein, no aliens.
There we have it. President Trump in the State of the Union at 1 hour, 48 minutes. That's a record even for this president. Has given long States of the Union before, joint addresses to Congress. This will go down in history as his longest yet. He spoke tonight, shaking a hand there to Vice President.
Declare the first American empire, you coward. All right. Well, what did you guys think? I think that was pretty good, right, for a Trump speech. I don't think anything is going to change, of course. I think the first year is a pretty good indication of how his second term is going to go. And, I mean, we've had a full term before this back in 2016. So I don't think anything radical is going to change. I was surprised that there wasn't any additional Iran rhetoric, something indicative of a coming war, just kind of the same thing he's repeated over and over again about them. So, you know, never know.
Yeah, I think that he hit all the right notes, and I think the things he avoided, I think that was probably smart to avoid just politically. Yeah, I think that a lot of it is just sort of stay the course. Even in terms of the immigration stuff, I was really happy with the rhetoric around that. And I think that goes I think the idea is they're pulling back in Minnesota to get basically because of the political capital that was being expended. The polls didn't look good, so they felt like they had to make some concessions there just to avoid
Buffer
the
the
political
midterm.
hits. Yeah, exactly. Which I think is probably smart. But at the same time, they send in Tom Holman, who's like, the arch deporter, or he's the face of the deportations, and so it's not like they were completely backing down even then. So I think that he's kind of walking the line there, certainly rhetorically, and hopefully that more action follows from the rhetoric, because he's not backing down on the rhetoric. I'd like to see more actions along those lines. They tried making an example out of Minnesota. They kind of did in many regards. People got pretty, little squeamish around it. Yeah, I mean, I think it was great.
Yeah, no, I know.
But people were getting, uncomfortable, and so we'll see what happens next. But I do think that, hopefully the deportations continue, and if they have to do so, under the covers or a little bit more quietly and less showy, that's fine too. I mean, the whole thing. I like Holman a lot because he is so professional, and he's not about these flashy like.
Did he snub Massey there? Sorry, I'm just looking at him in the background. I think he might have snubbed Massey.
He probably did. Yeah, he's not a big fan. But yeah, like Noam, showing up at the raids with a vest on and full makeup and whatnot, like that stuff doesn't really do anything for me. I'd rather just see actual deportations continuing. So.
Well, yeah, the deportation numbers have to go up. It's good that you close down the border, right? It's good that the crossings are way down, way down. But 10 million came through in the Biden era. We have to get rid of them, right? They have to go down. That's a huge swath of people that will be essentially leeches on the American public, right? They have to go back. So if that doesn't happen, I mean, then this is just the strongest rhetoric we have. Although I will say, just on Trump's physicality, he's doing pretty good. That was a 2-hour plus long speech, basically. He's got energy. He's still talking. He didn't fumble around. He has his normal, Trump moments. But this is not a Joe Biden decline. I mean, the man's 82 years old, keeping it together. I'm not sure if they're pumping him full of stims or something, but he's got most
Diet
of his
Coke,
wits about
man.
him.
Diet Coke and McDonald's. That's all you need.
That's the secret.
Breakfast of champions right
Yep.
there. Now, I will be sad to mention to you guys that my prediction did not come true of +4 Dow mentions to Epstein lists. I was only +2. So he mentioned the Dow twice, didn't mention Epstein at all. So, other than that, let's see. So,
I did like
good.
I did like the recognition of all the veterans as well. I thought that was pretty cool, bringing their stories to light, and especially the Night Stalker. That was pretty cool. And then giving the Medal of Honor on the spot. They deserve recognition.
It's always classy. Yeah.
It is.
No,
yeah.
I like that because
cool.
it's that plus the U.S. hockey team and celebrating like American exceptionalism. It just happens that all those people were very American, if you catch my drift. But I like the celebration of like the best of the best, and I think that's something that we could all strive for. Like people in the chat were saying, that's what makes me feel patriotic, right? That's what makes me feel happy to be an American, is stuff like that, where we're celebrating the best, right? These are the ideals of an American that gave it all, that did the things. These are what
I think
we want to see.
The timing worked out well too, right? You start with the hockey team. That's not very serious, but it kind of gets the crowd lively. It gets everyone sort of energetic, and then save the really serious stuff for the end, and kind of bring out the pathos towards the end of the speech. So I thought it was well organized.
Yeah.
And any complaints?
He did mention a few things early on, which I did want to get to. So he started out talking about the economy. So the Dow is great. The Dow is wonderful. Gas is down overall, which is technically true compared to the Biden era. It's about 20-30% down. Like here in the South Dakota, we're spending $2.40 a gallon on average, roughly. So it's pretty good. I know some people are complaining because it's up, but I'm sorry you live in Ohio. I'm sorry you live in California. Gas prices suck. I can't fix your state government, right? Inflation being down, though, that was one of his big claims early on in the speech. That was one of my first notes. I don't really think that's accurate. It doesn't seem like it's accurate. Maybe like, and gas is a little down. That's good. Energy costs are a little bit down. Certain food prices have gone down, like eggs for sure, because eggs at the beginning of his term were like $6-7 a dozen.
Right.
At one point. Remember, they were insane. But now they're down to about $3 a dozen, roughly $2.50, $3 a dozen, something like that. But the rate of inflation might be down, but I don't think inflation is actually down.
Well, and that's the thing. So economists basically hate deflation. They don't, because that deflation causes people to save their money because it's going to be worth more tomorrow than today. Therefore, they're not going to spend. So, economists tend to not like deflation, and therefore politicians tend to not like deflation. Anything that could potentially lead to an economic downturn or be a corollary of an economic downturn is, considered a negative thing. And so I think that the claim or the messaging of lowering inflation is the wrong messaging, right? Like it's not going down. It's kind of remarkable that anything's gone down. In general, prices only go up. And so all we can really expect is that maybe the rate will slow. And the rate was crazy, and the rate has slowed. But prices aren't going back down. And maybe to some degree, but what we can really hope for is that the rate will slow and that the value of your wages will or not the value, but the that your wages will go up. That's kind of the best that most politicians can do. And so I do think that there is perhaps some messaging unforced errors going on there where people aren't going to see the sticker prices on most things go down at all. And so the claim that inflation is down is
compared to last quarter, right?
Last
Last quarter it was 3.6%. This quarter it's 3.2%. Therefore, inflation is down.
Right.
Now the reason why inflation is advantageous to these people is because inflation is good for debt. Like if you have debt, inflation is great for you because it proportionally lowers your debt, right? It makes your debt less valuable. So if you have $100,000 in debt and inflation is 10% a year, give it a few years and that debt doesn't look quite so big now, does it? Now, of course, with inflation, you want your incomes to rise accordingly. And that's another area I'm out of the loop because I don't have a normal job. So I can tell from my business that sales are down overall, but I'm also in the gun industry. So that's kind of like, that's obviously going to be down a little bit. But from your guys' perspective, incomes rising, stagnant? How's the job market looking? I know people that are completely black-pilled on their prospects of getting a real job in their field that they have college degrees in, right? I know I'm outside of it, so I'm an outlier. It doesn't apply to me, but how are incomes looking to like average people?
It's not very good. I mean, at least since I've exited the military in 2020, and I've pretty much gotten a new job every year just to help supplicate that lost income due to inflation. Like, and the job, like if you stay loyal to a company, the raises, like the 1%, 2%, 3% raises, whatever they give you, they just don't keep up.
No.
So no. So
well, that's quarterly inflation is like 2 to 3%, right? And they're
Yeah.
giving you that a year. It's nothing.
A year, exactly. And so at least for me in my situation, I've gotten a new job every year, and I've gotten, $3, $4 with every job, a raise. So that's what I've had to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's probably what you have to do, which sucks because part of what made America great is you could get into a company,
be loyal,
stick
to
with it for 30, 40 years, retire in that, and that was your life. It was this stable thing where you could really invest your time and energy into a specific place, location. People in my family who have switched jobs like very frequently, they're doing good because they just always jump on the next thing that's available. And so the market, you have to be very horizontally mobile, basically, to have any sort of upward mobility. You can't just stay in the same job for a lot of these people, especially if you're not, I don't know, finance or something. But James, from your perspective, because you also have a more unique perspective on this whole thing.
Yeah, well, I feel like you're asking the wrong crowd here because none of us are really in traditional jobs at this point. I mean, I just spent my 2 weeks notice a week ago. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I was working for a good corporate company that did a pretty decent job keeping up with inflation. So they would give us probably a couple times in my career, they gave us just mid-year market adjustments where it wasn't even like normal. We'd have a year-end raise where at the end of the year, based on our performance, we would get a raise. But there were at least twice in my 8-year career where they would just actually bump us up, like 5 or 6% just to keep up with inflation, which is really cool. So I think that's kind of a unique situation. I think a lot of people don't work for companies that proactively are trying to retain their employees like that.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, that's an interesting part of the equation too, is the job market is weird because people who put out 200 resumes, they'll apply for 200 different jobs straight out of college. They'll get like maybe 1 or 2 interviews and no second interviews, and it's like with a job market this bad where companies either aren't hiring or are the jobs are competitive, like they're making you compete with 1,000 other people for a job so that they can keep wages low. Why are we bringing in like anyone at all to compete with these jobs, especially in IT or in manufacturing or in any real job that makes good money? Like, why are we making it harder for our own indebted college students, right? Especially those guys. Now, if you're a tradesman, like I know tradesmen that are doing great. I know tradesmen that are doing mediocre, but they're still making things work. But if you're getting some sort of if you're 3 years into your college degree right now, I mean, I hope you know somebody. Hope you got something lined up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of why I'm going independent right now. I mean, a lot of it's just interests, but basically about a year ago, I realized that I wanted to leave my job, and I started looking around at some other options, did a few interviews, but it was really clear that the market was just very competitive, and especially being someone who didn't have the passion for the work anymore, I couldn't compete with the hundreds of people that were applying for these same roles. I look on Indeed and some of these job forums, and they'll tell you how many other people applied. It's insane, the competition right now. So, yeah, for me, I just went, okay, I'll do my own thing. I run a business. I've got other options. I can bring in money in other ways.
Gene Lemming says that he has put out 6,000 applications now with a single interview at a pyramid scheme. Patrick bet David's hiring, huh? Wild. If true, 6,000 interviews is nuts. Cody Red Right Hand says being a trade and specializing. I mean, you do have to make yourself, you got to scheme a little bit. All right. So a lot of like me, when somebody asks me what I do for work, I'm like, well, how much time do you have? And I can explain the 4 or 5 different things that I do to make an income.
Well,
why does Focus Trip have TDS? Oh, does he mean Trump derangement syndrome? Admix? Unbelievable.
That's probably what that means.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that's going to be big going forward is actually a lot of the corporate jobs that were just sort of filler positions where you just needed someone in the position, those are going to go to AI. So you need to actually be good at something to demand wages for it, or they will find replacements for you. And yeah, I mean, I think that that's just kind of the reality of the future. And so trades are a great idea. At some point, someone's got to do the plumbing, and I don't think there's going to be robots doing that for a while. So
long time, yeah.
What's that?
Long time, yeah. No, I was agreeing with you.
Right, exactly. So I think that there are a lot of there's a market for those physical jobs, but it's just really anything where you have a particular skill set. There are still plenty of mental jobs out there where you can beat AI hand over fist, at least for the next, 5-10 years. So there are jobs like that, but you've got to find ways of specializing, of adding value, of using AI to your profit where possible. But it's going to be tougher.
Yeah. Something else that he mentioned, and this was one of the things that we're kind of dour on the economy in a lot of ways, but now he used this rhetoric to lead into the Olympics. But when he first started saying it, this is when he was like gushing over winning, we're winning so much. You're going to cry because we're winning so much. And I'm going to tell you, no, we're going to keep winning, even though you tell me you want to stop winning. Which again, when you're a guy in the chat right now and you're trying to find a job or you're barely holding it together, you're like, wow, thank you, Mr. Trump. I'm very happy with the economy that we have right now. And the supposed tariff checks that made everything more expensive and then got reversed and given back to the corporations, right? I don't feel very winning right now, Mr. Trump.
Now, I heard you say that earlier before I joined. My understanding is most likely we're not going to have to actually pay anything back.
I don't know how we would, but that's kind of like one of the possibilities that's been floating. I know nothing is done, and now he's trying to put in. They're working on putting in another 10% tariff through a different
there are other means
from like a 1974 act or something like that, and it's like I don't know. I don't get any of it. It's all funny money nonsense. So
That's kind of why it was a little bit. The ruling was a little bit weird. I mean, I know that it was a bipartisan, or not that there's technically partisan, but it was a ruling from both the right and left wing judges against Trump. But then you had Clarence. It was a really weird divide, actually, because you had Clarence Thomas going against and Alito going against the other judges, but the arguments they were making were not clearly like left-right arguments. The majority in this case actually was making what many people would consider a more conservative argument in terms of just like limited government. But the funny thing is, and this is I think a lot of what Clarence Thomas, who was on the minority side, what his argument was is that Congress has basically already ceded this power to the administrative branch in many different ways over the years, and so this is precedent at this point. So he can basically the president can control tariffs. So I don't know. It was an interesting ruling. It was very odd in terms of the breakdown.
Something else that I want to talk about here. There was one moment where they were talking about the young man, the young soldier who had helped rescue the girl from the flood and the other children, people. And there was a moment there where he's getting saluted and celebrated by the World War II vet that I thought was particularly heartwarming, because we have like the new generation young man hero being celebrated by the old man, like literally World War II 100-year-old like hero veteran. I thought that was a really cool little moment. Yeah.
That was the Coast Guard rescue swimmer, right? Who saved all
Yes.
those children during the floods. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was really cool.
The other thing, the AI data center stuff, which he didn't really talk about AI all that much, but he did kind of try to alleviate some fears about the increased cost to normal everyday Americans, which I think is a concern for them. I think another concern is just like the power grid in general, or the resources, the water. Like a lot of small towns are getting pressured into like hosting a data center, and it just ruins everything basically in your area. It's just a huge, ugly building with their own power station. And it does seem like an odd combo, maybe at first glance, to have a AI data center also running their own power station. But when you think about it, it's like giving them direct control over their own costs, and probably like their second highest cost after hardware and the land itself has got to be power. And probably in the long run, their highest operating cost is power, right? Because I know people who like mine, like Bitcoin mining or whatever it might be for that, and their highest operating cost once they get over the initial cost is always energy. All it is just energy. So giving them direct control over their costs, and also allowing them to sell their excess power to like locals, basically, right? I mean, that it's a huge upfront cost, but another part of this is that these AI companies are trading money between each other, and it makes it look like increased volume. It's like if NVIDIA gives AMD $100 million, that gives Intel $100 million, that gives it back to NVIDIA.
It looks like $300.
It looks like $300 million just got made, but no, $0 have been generated. Like actually $0 have been generated with just money moving from A to B to C to back to A, right? And there's a lot of this weird circularity stuff with the money, huge investments. If you follow the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, I want to say, he said some interesting thing, because they have a huge whatever $1 billion contract with OpenAI, and he's kind of like said some things that he might be backing out of it, but he can't be too pessimistic about it, because if he does, that can cause investors to get squirrely, and the value of NVIDIA right now is hyper inflated because everything is sold out and everything is based upon this AI rush, basically, right? So we need to make all this hardware, we need to sell all this stuff and have all this product, which is why RAM prices have quintupled, right? We don't have GPU stock for the next 3 years because of this supposed future state in which we need all of this hardware. It's like building a transatlantic bridge with no traffic yet, but we know if we build it, then the traffic will come. And it's a big gamble.
Yeah. The AI, it's like we know that AI is going to take off, but it's hard to pick exactly which companies are going to win out. And so that is one of the things. Like Nvidia is one of the biggest ones right now. But it's kind of like Pan Am was a major airline. We knew that airlines were going to go places, but Pan Am didn't. And so you can think that investing in any one particular AI stock, any particular stock in whatever industry that is going to go places, is necessarily going to do well. But in the end, MySpace didn't end up doing very well. Facebook took off. So you never know exactly which ones are going to ultimately take off.
My bet would be whichever one gets the government contracts first. So Palantir, OpenAI, and Intel, because Intel is the only American-based fab. I know that they're trying to build 2 new super fabs in the U.S. because, of course, the situation with Taiwan is also very volatile. So what could be very funny is if China just does a couple silly things, to Taiwan or some of these other places, like you could see the American AI market crash overnight because nobody's going to be getting any hardware out of there.
Well, that's a big part of what Iran is about. Yes, it's
They're
about
part
Israel,
of that
it's about
access
Iran,
with them, yeah.
but a lot of it is the fact that we don't want the Chinese to get any ideas. And Trump kind of drew a red line in the sand with the protesters, saying, hey, if you kill the protesters, we're going to have to come in. And now, he's saying that they've killed the protesters, so where does that leave us? If we look really weak to China and Iran, then that might be an invitation to invade Taiwan.
Yeah, that was the only little bit of new Iran rhetoric, was the protesters being killed. And I know that there are protests going on. Like, I've seen the footage, unless, all of that's fake. But I just doubt the numbers on all sides. Of course, the Iranians are lying about the numbers. And if we're using it as a means to justify war or a kinetic strike, then of course we're going to lie about the numbers as well, right? We did the same thing when I invading Iraq. Are there WMDs there? Yes, of course there are. Were there any? No. and they knew most likely that there wasn't, but they wanted to do it anyways. So,
yeah, we'll see where it ends up. So, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say 2 more things on that he mentioned, but he didn't really give any answers for. So he complained about, Irina Zarutska and some of the corrupt judges that allowed these people to come in, to stay in, post arrest, post these things, cashless bail, all this stuff. He mentioned them and said, we need to fix this, but he didn't provide any solutions or support any bills or not. He mentioned it, which is great. It's like, thank you for mentioning that. That's, I'll take that, I guess, but no solutions for that. At the same time, he also mentioned the Ukraine war, which I did check the numbers on that. And yeah, it's about 1,000 soldiers a day die in the Ukraine war. And so he mentioned that, like, oh, we need to bring a stop to this, with no solution to it. I know he's had meetings with Putin, and they've had meetings with Zelensky, of course, but those are 2 things he mentioned without any new solutions or even proposing.
Well, and as I understand it, Putin is not coming to the table on any of this. It's like they're having meetings with Ukraine, but I don't think Putin is really. I don't think he's playing ball. I think he just basically sees the U.S. and Ukraine negotiating against themselves.
I think so. Well, I think at least when he met with Trump in Alaska last year, where they had the iconic B-2 flyover.
Right.
I'm pretty sure at least from that meeting, it was something about Ukraine can never join NATO, right? They can't have this and this. There's no military bases, and we got to keep all the land that we've already taken, basically, and probably plus something as well. So, and that's probably not going to fly with Ukraine. So if Ukraine's not going to be part of it, and Putin's going to basically want as much as he can get, or he's just using it as a diversion tactic. He'll talk to you if he thinks that he can bluff you, basically, while he's continuing to just march along. It's like a kilometer a month or something like that. It's a very slow slog for them, but they are moving, and Ukraine will eventually just lose just by nature of attrition. And yeah, they lose about 1,000 soldiers a day on both sides, total. So,
Yeah, I was disappointed that he didn't say anything more effective about the Irina I forget her last name, but the stabbing and just in general the crime wave. He mentioned bringing the criminals to justice, but that's kind of table stakes. That's the bare minimum.
And he mentioned the corrupt judges.
We really do need to start prosecuting the corrupt judges. That is where it should go. And I would have loved to see something like that. He didn't say anything.
Yep.
So,
very unfortunate.
Do we want to get to the super chats?
Yeah, we got to. Let me check Redoubt real fast. Let me make sure if there is.
At least three.
On Redoubt?
I think so.
Well, where did they go? Let me make this bigger. That's what she said. Haha. Viewer activity. Oh shoot! Of course.
Well, they show up in StreamYard, so we can just go through one by one.
Oh, okay, sweet. If they're in there, then yeah,
they're all imported.
Chud for 2 says Richard Gassy, you should get John Kirikow on. Do you guys know John Kirikow?
Nope.
I'm not sure. Thank you, Chud. Appreciate that. Chud for another 2 says, who adopts ethnics? We are going extinct, man. I think that white people specifically have been propagandized in a way to think that it is more moral to adopt outside of your race specifically. So I understand the reasoning why they do it, because they have internalized this in a way superiority, right? And so it's like, why would you adopt a white kid when you can adopt a not white kid who's poor and deserves that chance that you have, right? So I get the psyop there, but I think it not all the time, because I know my friends growing up. One of the people in my wedding party was a Hispanic man that was adopted by white parents, right? And it can work out quite well, right? But I'm just saying, in specifics, it's like,
isn't it more of just a numbers thing though? Because as I understand it, white kids, there is a
that's also
long line of people. Like, there is no shortage of people willing to take in and adopt basically native-born, certainly white kids.
I know that's probably true, but I know a lot of people specifically seek out like ethnic minorities to adopt.
But I think it's usually from overseas, where there isn't a long, like they're literally getting them out of orphanages. Like, they would be raised in orphanages, or they're being adopted. Like, that's their only option. Versus if you're looking more locally, especially more white. I don't know the exact stats on this, but essentially you have to get on a waiting list to adopt someone here versus an Asian
it's
child.
Cheaper and faster to adopt a black one. That's funny.
But you're saving them from a life in an orphanage, whereas the kids here, they're not going to grow up in an orphanage, regardless of whether you do it or someone else does. I think that's the idea.
Shortage. So, I mean, we have a shortage of white orphans, okay? You need to go out there and make more white orphans, all right, so that the waiting list gets shorter. Thank you, Chad. Cody Fisher for 5 says, Pool of Devils. Yeah, I wonder how many people in that room are mentioned in the Epstein files in an untoward fashion. Probably more than one. Chud for 2 says, is my wife Slam Momdi going to be there tonight? Slam Momdi. John Kirikou is an ex-CIA officer. He blew the whistle on the Hurting People program. Cool guy with lots of stories. Dem from 20 years ago politically. Ah, interesting. Thank you, Right Boy. Appreciate that.
Wait, I don't get Slam Momdi. What am I missing?
Pam Bondi.
Oh,
Slam
gotcha.
Momdi.
Okay,
right?
All right.
Sheep Herder for 5 says, I thought this was an AI dramatization of the State of the Union. It looks uncanny, but then I realized that's just how politicians act normally. Yeah, they just look like that, dog. I mean,
well, I don't know
talk
like
about
the outbursts of interruptions and whatnot, and just like the unprofessionalism of your representatives in government is just ridiculous. Like, I don't think our government operated like this, like even 50 years ago at a State of the Union. Like, it's just like a bunch of children.
I mean, you can always pull up examples of somebody getting rowdy, like, the founding fathers dueling each other and stuff like that. But, by and large,
they were
there was a different
dignified
level
in their actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of cool.
There is something weird
11
about
duels.
Yeah. There's something weird about seeing a brother marrying Muslim Somali woman, obvious fraudster, having an audience to yell at the president of the United States like uncontested, right? There's something that should be, that position should be, in a just world, that position should be so exalted that somebody doing that should get the death penalty, right? Probably not that far, but
And then
Bomani
Al
Igloo.
Green continuing his tradition of getting kicked out in the first few minutes.
Black people are not monkeys. It's like, nobody said that. Thank you. Bomani Igloo for 2 says Sephardic psycho, not Sabardic psycho. Ooh, there you go. Sephardic psycho. Thank you, Bomani. Band Stay for 2 says get fo on. That's the chicken I trust. Yeah, maybe he's the reason why egg prices got so high. He wasn't fertilizing those eggs. No, but I hope Tom had a good night. Chud for 2 says the second lady of the U.S. doesn't look too American. I don't know her history, but I know that she is Hindu, which is weird, right? As a Catholic man, J.D. Vance, to marry a Hindu and to raise your children in kind of like a dualistic sense.
I mean, I assumed he converted afterwards.
Oh, maybe.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I
he
haven't looked
converted
into the
after they
history.
were married. Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of J.D. Vance just because of his affiliation with Peter Thiel and essentially being a test tube politician for him. So I don't like that connection more than his familial connections. Not really that. I don't really care that much about that. Thank you, Chud. Zany Coat for 5 says, can we talk about
So
MP5
JD Vance's
clones?
wife, she's not.
Go ahead, Chris.
Hold on 1 second. This cat's being a pain in the ass. JD Vance's wife, she's not Catholic like he is, right?
No, she's Hindu. Right? So that's what's weird. I would need to look into that to whether he converted after. But even if you're an atheist, would you marry a Hindu or like, I guess, just agnostic?
That's
I would have to look
a
into
weird
that more.
dynamic. That doesn't seem American. Like, how are you going to raise your children with 2 different ideologies?
Well, they raise them
religiously?
dualistically. They don't. I don't know if they go to church with him or if they practice her religion, but that's what's weird. Like as a Catholic, I feel like that should. I'm pretty sure there are rules against that, or at least it's frowned upon.
It's very frowned upon. Yeah.
And I mean, especially like if you are a Catholic and you know that your children are practicing something that will lead them to hell, why would you even allow that in your house? Like I couldn't allow it in my house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm looking up the dates right now. So they got married in 2014. He converted in, it looks like officially 2019.
5 years. Okay, so yeah, it was not Catholic at the time. Interesting. Yeah, no, that is a tough spot. That is a tough spot as a family man to keep your family together and not.
It would just seem confusing for the children.
Well, yeah, well, that's who I'd be most concerned about. Yeah, is the children.
Mm-hmm.
Because how would I do that? Now I'm thinking about that. Like if my wife was into some pagan religion, and I'm like, hey kids, by the way, I love your mom, all right, but she doesn't know the truth, and like this will lead you down a terrible path, and I can't have you believe any of the nonsense she spouts. Right? At some point, I would have to I'd have to be honest with them. At some point, you know. Now, if they're really young, maybe it's not that big of a deal yet, but still, I would be very forceful in making sure that they get brought up Christian, not Hindu. Like they would forcibly. That might. I wonder if that would break up the marriage because, like, if your wife said no, we're going to raise our kids Hindu, and you say no, I'm going to raise our kids Catholic. Do you? But if you break up the marriage, then you're probably not going to get custody of kids, and then they're going to get raised Hindu anyways. That's tough.
But Hindu is a much more inclusive religion, right? Yeah, I guess it depends on which brand of Hinduism. But I would think that it would be a lot easier to, as a Hindu person, accept them being raised Catholic. I would think. But I don't know.
Yes. I mean, I don't know much about Hinduism, but yeah, maybe it's more universal in that it's accepting
There's also a decent history
stuff.
of Catholicism in India. I don't know if that creates extra tension, but it's a somewhat like of the Christianity that's the different Christian brands that are accepted in India. I think Catholicism has a much longer history there, so that probably helps a little bit.
Well,
not only that,
don't
too,
you
but
know that Jesus went to India before he started his mission?
Supposedly Thomas actually did make it to India.
Mm.
And you would think that a good wife would want to adopt a man's ideals and principles, morals, religion, whatnot, as well.
Well, like I know failed marriages that have started when, you know, they were both ambivalent or unpolitical, and then as they grow old together, their politics and religious beliefs diverge, and then that breaks apart the marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I That's tough. It's a tough situation. Zanico asks about MP5 clones, though. I mean, most MP5 clones are Turkish, and we don't talk about Turkish people here. I say that as if I didn't put 700 rounds through my cannons today. Central Sands Defense for 5 says, Redoubt on the TV, focus on the phone. Got to boost those numbers, insert. I'm doing my part here. Well, that is mega based of you, Ben.
Thanks,
Much
Ben.
appreciated, sir. Doomer John for 5 says, Trump staying positive is smart. He can paint the Dems as the party of misery and taxation. True. No, his rhetoric, the showmanship, the looking at the Democrats as he's talking about illegal immigrants murdering a 16-year-old cheerleader, right? Kino aesthetics, right? None of them stand, none of them clap, none
That
of
was
them
a great
care,
moment.
right?
I mean, it was a depressing moment, but
And
that
it-
was
oh, yeah.
masterful.
That's what you do. Show your opponents as evil. Because, I mean, now in this case, both sides are pretty evil. But when it comes to things like that, objectively, the Democrats have allowed more illegal alien truckers to kill families on the interstate, more illegal aliens to, like Lake and Riley, to rape and murder them. 16-year-old cheerleaders to get murdered in the bathtub at home because some illegal alien who had been already arrested got let out by a liberal judge and not deported, right? So yeah, it's good rhetoric and it's good optics. It hits both. Thank you, Doomer John. Chud, again for 5, says 2028 Olympic athletes trying to decide if the gunshot was the starting pistol or Tyrone's Glock 22 popping off for someone else's Jordans. Yeah, man. LA. Although not all of the Summer Olympics are held in LA because they're held at like 5 or 10 different locations, right? Usually,
but all
'cause
within
there's
a pretty small radius, right? Maybe I don't know how the Olympics works. I assume that they were all basically in the same city.
Well, yeah, maybe I'm confused because I remember sometime that they were in like multiple states in the U.S. at one point.
Okay.
Because
I don't know.
for stadium purposes or reasons that they needed for the different events going on. So, thank you, Chud. Appreciate it. But yeah, they'll clean it up. Listen, when they have important foreigners in town, like when Xi Jinping stopped by to see Gavin, they absolutely cleaned out the homeless, cleaned out the encampments, cleaned up the fentanyl needles, absolutely made that place spotless. Focus, which is, it's sad that they don't care enough about their own constituents to keep it that way, but foreign dignitaries. Focus Group's wife for 5. Hello, Anna. Need your professional opinion. Ballpark, how many reps of chair squats would someone have to accomplish to be ready for these meetings? That was at least 20. Probably 25. Honestly, somebody should do a squat counter. Because I think that's Randy Fine's like worst day of the year. He has to stand up and sit down like 25 times. He's like, damn it, I wish we had a Democrat president so I could just sit the entire time. Well, see, that's the thing. People think that Nancy Pelosi didn't want to stand. All right, but she just couldn't. Right? It's just so old. Thank you, Anna. Doomer John for 2 says 4 dozen. How does she make all that in the basement? Oh no, yeah, my family goes through like 4 dozen eggs a week. I think it's 3 or 4 dozen eggs a week. Every morning for breakfast, my wife.
Pallets.
I should. Every time I see the huge packs, I'm like, I just need to actually just buy that. So
That's
I
what
have
I
to
get.
stop doing it every week. Yeah, I should.
Eggs last a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, breakfast consists of eggs, rice, and whole milk most of the time. Thank you, Doomer John. Appreciate that. The real Grantham says Cope. Oh, the hairline. He AI'd the hairline. That's good. I didn't realize that. Cope, nothing ever happens, Chuds. Trump RX has made me more fertile than ever. I'm glad that it's working for you, bro. Bringing those pill costs down. Central Sands Defense for 5 says, like I said on the Focus Strip stream, yep, we had a snowstorm last week, and 5 of the 5 semi-crashes I took, all of them were foreigners. So I have a funny story. You guys want to hear a funny story about a foreigner today?
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
a little upsetting. A little upsetting for me. So I got pulled over today on my way back to this stream, and from the range, and I got pulled over and given a ticket for doing 68 in a 45. All right. However,
Pretty fast.
No. Here's the thing. I got pulled over as I was crossing the 65 sign from a 45. Where I pulled over to actually let the officer pull me over was like 100 yards beyond the 65 sign.
Good grief.
And you know who walks up to me? Mahmoud Mohammed.
No way.
Mr. Somali. And I was like, really? Really? In first one I've ever seen.
Yeah, in the Dakotas. Wow.
Yeah, in South Dakota, in rural South Dakota, because this is like 60 miles away from the freeway. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to fight it.
Yeah, I would.
Very obnoxious. Oh, horribly obnoxious, like in the middle of nowhere, going from a 45 to a 65.
Where did he come from? Was he behind a tree?
He was parked off to the side of the road.
Yeah, that seems like a bit like an entrapment, just waiting right by a sign.
I mean, literally, there's not a house for miles either direction. It's all the roads here are straight lines. It's just a straight line, right? And so it's the 65 sign is right there. So I accelerate up. Like, isn't that normal? Don't people just do that, right? People don't actually wait till they're past the speed change sign to speed up, right? Right? Like you guys, like when you see like the 70 is right there, it's 55 here, but I accelerate to 70 by the time I'm at the 70 sign, right? Everybody does that. I'm not crazy, right?
So wait, you passed a 70 sign. Where was the 45 sign?
So the 45 sign would be like, because there's like a little town like way back. So for like a mile outside of the town, it's 45, right? And then it changes to 65. Again, it's just one long straight stretch. So like the 45 zone technically extends for like a mile past the town. So it's like I'm driving past the 45, I'm out of the train tracks, I'm away from the town. The 65 sign is right there.
Oh,
right?
so you were accelerating to get into the 65 zone, and that's when he got you. Good grief!
So,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
So I got pulled over for
if you
68
can see the sign,
in a 45.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, so that, like I said, like where I actually pulled off the road was like 100 or 200 yards beyond the 65 sign, where I got pulled over for 68 miles an hour.
Right, 3 miles over. Yeah, that's insane. No, I thought you were saying that you passed from the 65 into the 45, just didn't slow down fast enough.
No. The opposite way. The opposite way. Yeah, the acceleration up to and past to the sign.
That's.
Yeah, fight it. And
Ridiculous.
him being probably Somali, he probably won't even show up to court. So yeah, you'll probably.
Yeah, he's late to his own court date. Lightsport for 2 says NWA keeps looking back to make sure they clap. I don't remember what that's in reference to, but thank you. Lightsport for 2 says don't say would. We don't know if she's an adult. Oh, that's about the young woman.
Yeah,
that was another moment. Okay, where I like that. I like the rhetoric. Trump putting out the anti-trans children rhetoric. I really like that. Thank you for doing that. Pro-normalcy. And honestly, a horrifying situation for that young girl to be bullied in by, psychological professionals, a psychiatrist, to be like, oh, you should affirm this gender. You need to do this. And then getting put into an all-boys psych ward because she identifies as a boy, according to some psychiatrist, and then to be pulled out of that and to be just a normal, wonderful-looking girl with a full-ride scholarship, right? All you have to do is not be surrounded by insane people, right? Especially when you're a hormonal teen and everything's going wacky and you're a little depressed, you're a little sad, like teenage years are really hard. And having these like parasitic figures in your life, these vampires or demons that are pushing you down like bad pathways when all you need is a little bit of support, those are the people that need millstones, right?
And to me, the stories matter. Like the miasma, the atmosphere matters, and that's why I actually care about this rhetoric stuff. Like I don't, some people get on Trump for saying the right things, but never actually doing anything, and I don't even think that's quite fair. But even just saying the right things does allow for other people to do the right things in a way that if we had Biden or some Democrat who was saying all the wrong things and put absolutely no emphasis on the right things, stuff doesn't get done in the same way. And we are actually in a position where the temperament of the country is turning against some of this crazy trans stuff and some of these other issues, even in terms of immigration.
Even Gavin, did you see Gavin the other day? He
No.
said like we need to cool it on the pronouns and stuff.
Right, which, obviously I don't think he's genuine at all, but that's another good case where it's like sometimes just saying the right things and making it popular enough forces people, even evil people, to start to reform themselves, even just a little bit. And, every little victory matters. So I haven't taken the black pill.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I hope you're right? Of course. It's always good to be an optimist. Lightsport for 2 says, we are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame. Yes. I saw people spam that once Erica came on screen. Lightspore for 2. He's this close to saying the gamer word. The N. My favorite word. Thank you, Lightspore. Chud for 2 says, "We are George Floyd. We carry the Fent." True. Thank you, Chud. Cody for $10 says, "Big W for Mr. Haley in the chat." Must respect. Yeah, Strategic Haley in the chat. Hope you're doing well, man.
Oh, cool.
Glad to see you. Thank you, Cody. He watches sometimes. He fed posts in the chat. It's wonderful. Sheepherder for 2 says, "I haven't seen Senator Holden Bloodfeast, Republican, once." Yes, I'm pretty sure that's just the straight alternative to Lindsey Graham, who's deeply closeted still. Chud for 2, enlisting to Aura Farm on Israeli sub 3's #mogged. No, yeah, both of the servicemen that they brought up, or all 3 of the young servicemen, were absolute units. So thank you, Chud. Appreciate that. Dick Cheney for 2 says, "Spoiler, it wasn't enemy fire. He had a 320. That's dark. Oh my gosh.
I'm here for the dark humor, man.
Yeah. Central Stance Defense for 10 says, "I think the huge thing here is Trump is not making this speech about himself. It's about how others have made the nation great and put this nation in a place to where it can succeed." And I think that's what America needs, right? And no mention of the Epstein list or anything else, of course. It wasn't a very politician-focused speech. You know, there was some good polemics in there, but it was mostly about, the American people, and then highlighting some heroes and some exceptional Americans.
To be fair, he kind of did have like a comment where he did make it about himself. It was like, if I could get the Medal of Honor, I would give it to myself.
Oh, yes. And I think actually this was bad timing for Ben here, because he super chatted this like right as he said that.
Yeah.
But then he said that like 2-3 bad lines where it was really cringe inducing. And then he went right back to, but it's an honor to even be in the same room with you guys, right? So he pivoted back, but still, he does love the attention, all right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it, man. Cody Fisher Pretends says, "I don't even know what to say. The number of topics needed addressed, and we got story time and praise. Respect to the soldiers, but I mean, come on, what even is this?" Well, I don't know what, realistically, what is he going to actually say in this time? Because I think optically he did really good. The anti-democrat stuff on immigration looks pretty good. His economy talk was not great. I wasn't invigorated by that, because the economy's mixed. It's a mixed bag. Some people are doing good, some people aren't.
I'd like to see more of a plan for how we're not just, hey, we're doing great, but hey, I understand some people are struggling and we're doing this to get you out of it. That would have been nice.
Yeah, life is good, but it could be better. Right. But yeah, no, the hero stuff, the young servicemen, the old servicemen as well, honoring American heroes, all that stuff came across really well. But yeah, not really. He didn't really lay out a plan of exactly what was going to be happening. How are we going to be getting the deportation numbers up? What are we going to be doing in Iran? What are we going to be doing to fix Ukraine? Some of these other, big major events that we didn't really get. But no, I appreciate it, Cody. And honestly, I don't think that I know some people who were Trump fans legitimately believed in the idea that he could basically unilaterally fix the country. And I don't think even from James' perspective, the more optimistic perspective, you would probably guess it's going to take generations to fix the country. Right.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, that's where I get frustrated with the doomers, because, I've liked Trump pretty much ever since right after his 2016 victory. The speech when he made the "You're Fake News" famous speech, that was kind of the one that really made me think, just become a fan. He was funny. He said the right things. It also was fun right after Trump won in 2016, when all of the libs were just going crazy, and so there was just a little bit of Schadenfreude or whatever. But I'm a fan. He's funny and he says the right things, and I actually think that he does do a lot more right things than people give him credit for. But in the end, I get frustrated with people for complaining that he's not doing enough, because in the end, there's only so much that he can do. And I understand we have both houses, but even then, we don't have we don't have all the we have a pretty slim majority, and it's just politics. The way that our system is designed is to not do very much, and what we do very slowly, and it's like that's kind of built into the system, and it kind of sucks, but it also is kind of nice when the libs have all of it, and so it's just
like a slow decline. I think that's what America's frustrated with, though, is the slow what they view as a slow decline.
I feel it too. I know.
Yeah, but I agree. I don't think
that
Trump
it's inevitable.
can. I don't think he actually could, even if he was the based man that people pretend he is. He simply does not have the power to unilaterally affect these things. Now, could he be a lot better? Sure. And we all have very fair criticisms of the man. Because I
don't know anyone that's a fan
core,
of Trump that doesn't also admit to the validity of the criticisms. Everyone knows that Trump has flaws and foibles and issues, and it's like, we all know that. If you like him because of the vibe, and you like him because of a few things that he does, and you also understand that there are things that he does that are a little, in poor taste or whatever.
Well, to everybody who guessed no Epstein mention in the poll, which ended at 48%, you were absolutely correct.
You won.
Absolutely correct. Yeah. Zanico for 5 says, was Richard the designated survivor? Yes, that's why he could not be with us here tonight in case there was an untoward accident. Thank you, Zanico. Amrai Boy for 2 says, income is up a lot, but not matching with the price of life. Yeah, I mean, especially if you're somebody where you're not like rent stable, right? If you're renting and your rent goes up $400 a month, like that's a big chunk of money that you just lost for nothing. And if you're working a relatively normal job, they ain't paying you, $2, $3, $4 extra an hour on the whim,
But don't just take it if they tell you that your rent's going up. You can negotiate, and depending on your circumstances, you might be able to get it down. I just re-signed my lease here at this apartment, and I think we got at least another year before we go ahead and get a house, but they were going to increase our rent, and I was like, I know that the apartment right across from us has been empty for about a year. Like, I'm pretty sure you want me still to stay here, so let's bring that rent down. So we got it to stay exactly the same. So you have some negotiating power.
To be fair, the negotiating skills tend to lie on a man. So women usually aren't the best at doing that. Yeah.
I mean,
listen, Christian, there's no women in the chat. Okay, there might be some female PFPs, but there's no women here.
I'm just saying that it was probably James doing the negotiating and not your wife. But yeah.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, my wife in college, before we were married, she had to sell a car, an old beater Focus, a 2001 that barely ran, manual. And of course, when the guy that wanted to buy it because she was hanging out with her friends, it doesn't start. And so she got talked down because I wasn't there. From like $1,300 to like $700 or $900 or something like that. And so, yeah, she was okay. Yeah.
They don't like conflict, man.
No, I know.
Yep.
Amrai Boy for 5 says, John Kirikou is an ex-CIA officer. He blew the whistle on hurting people program. Cool guy, lots of stories, down from 20 years ago politically. So like pretty centrist nowadays. Yeah, down from 20 years ago is like anti-abortion, anti-gay marriage, which is kind of wild unless you're like really liberal from 20 years ago. Thank you. I mean, that is Trump, actually, when you think about it. Trump is a 90s Democrat, early 2000s Democrat. Chud for 2 says, I got a Beretta because of 3 Somalis at the gym. Do you have a cheetah? Because if you're packing at the gym, like I work out by myself, so I just bring a Glock 17. But if you're by yourself working out, like I know somebody carried what was it, a 25 ACP, one of those tiny little guys in his swimming trunks when he went swimming, in like a Ziploc bag, like taped inside of his swimming trunks. It's like always got to have a gun. Got to have something. Yeah,
I've had really good luck with
maybe it was a bit overkill, but I used to carry.
Go ahead.
I used to carry my MP5 in my bag everywhere I went back in the day.
There you go.
Dude, somebody comes to shoot up the place and you're there with an MP5 and he's like, what? What is going on? It's like when 2 school shooters meet, they just happen to shoot up the school on the same day. Like, what is going on here?
That is crazy.
What do you carry? RXM?
I've had good luck with the Ruger LCP.
Oh, LCP, okay.
The 22 version when I need like a little pocket pistol. Yeah,
Okay.
that one. I mean, it's a 22, so I don't know that I can recommend it to anyone else because I'm sure I may have just gotten whatever the opposite of a lemon is, where it just works flawlessly. But I've never had a single malfunction in that gun. It runs perfectly, and I use cheap 22 ammo. So I've been really happy with it. But your mileage may vary.
Mm-hmm. I need to pick up like a really small, slim gun for like wearing a suit, or if I need to go somewhere where I just cannot. It's imperative that I do. It is not discovered that I am carrying a gun.
Right.
I should have never sold my 43X. I regret it.
Yeah. 43X aren't bad. Yeah. Thank you, Judd. Duke Sweats for 2 says, "Who follows the speed limit signs? Nerd. Apparently not me, bro. Jeez. Thank you, Duke Sweats. Cody Fisher, 1X Precision for 5, says he laid out absolutely nothing. AI data centers are going to be able to have their own power stations. So he did say that. And he did propose a couple other pieces of legislation, the Safe America Act. Voting. We forgot to talk about voting. Yes, voter ID, the Safe America Act. I think that is very important. Okay, if you're optimistic, if you're like, listen, democracy is still the path forward, all right? Having a secure democracy where the people who are voting are actually the proper people is very important, right? So I think that's a good point as well. Last couple things on Ko-Fi. Matthew Dropco from the beginning of the stream. Thank you, Matthew. I got to catch up on all of his Instagram messages. Thanks for giving me an alternative to watching on TV. At least you guys are doing play-by-plays that are better than mainstream media. Well, mainstream media doesn't even do play-by-plays. They don't interject like we do. We're obnoxious. We're going to interject the whole time. They're just going to they're just going to wait till afterwards and then like fact check everything. Dude, I hate watching fact checkers. It's like, well, actually, Trump said that he cut costs in half, but really they're only down by 51% or 47%. It's like, I just don't care. Bad Luck Brand says playing Ace VR while I listen to the stream. Oh, that's cool. Hope everyone is having a great night. I can't get over the fact that buying into that costs like 2 or 3 cases of ammo, and I can just dry fire. I can just dry fire. You know, I just, guess what? I just walk around my house with a gun. Okay, that's what I do. It's the same thing. Polly B for 10 says, I don't want to deport Ilhan Omar. Anakin face. Yeah, it's like, I no longer want to deport Ilhan Omar. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? All right, well, that's all I got here, gents.
Cool.
There was one, we got a Ko-Fi on Redoubt.
Oh, let me
having
pull that
trouble
up.
logging in. Yeah.
I have it pulled up over here. I did not see it. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Noob Crastinator. Thank you, sir. Hope you're having a good night. Glad to catch you guys live when I can. Still have a couple to catch up on. Thanks for the stream. Well, thank you. Appreciate it, Noob Crastinator. Oh, and as soon as I said that, Mitzvot over on Ko-Fi. Mitzvot says, unfortunately, the P365 is actually goated for deep concealment pocket carry. I did deep conceal a P365 for a while, but I got rid of that. I've kind of thought about going with one of the new micro 380s, right? Like the Smith & Wesson one that everybody likes. Yeah, because they're really slim. Yeah, something like that in that vein. You know, pick up a couple, one for me, one for my wife.
They even have a comped one now, which is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you need. Well, they're micro guns though, so maybe it helps a little bit. Yeah.
Some of them are pretty snappy. Yeah, like my PDK.
Bodyguard, I heard, is not too bad at all.
Yeah.
Well, I know when it came out, everybody was raving about it. Like Hop and some of the other guys from TFB TV said that was really good. So, I did also carry a 26 for a long time, a P80 26. True.
My favorite carry gun was my Shield. Not even the newer version, but just like the old 7+1 Shield. It was a great gun. I loved the texture. It had a really aggressive texture. I sold it to someone because he needed a gun, and I didn't really need it that much, but I regret selling it. I would totally still carry that.
You know what was a weird one? Did either of you guys ever shoot the Smith & Wesson CSX?
No.
It was like their micro 1911 double stack style gun. It was an aluminum frame with 10 round mags, a manual safety, and like a straight pull trigger, even though it was still like striker fired. Interesting gun. Had some quirks and some issues when it first came out. They did come out with a new generation of it that I haven't looked at. Yeah, the CSXE. So I might need to look at that, because the original one was not optics cut, and it's a micro gun. Like, it's a very, very small gun, right? So I mean, it's 43 size, basically.
I like, in theory, the idea of some of those like 1911 style micro carry pieces.
What was it? The Bull Armory. They have a super light, compact, like 3.6 inch. But it's like $2,600. So it's like, I don't know about that for a concealed carry piece. I wish, Amber Boy for 2 says 30 super carry introduction gun. I wish that 30 super carry was more popular, or even still existed, really, because you get an extra 2 or 3 rounds of capacity, regardless of size of the gun, basically. So like a 10-round gun goes to a 12-round gun, a 15-round gun goes to an 18-round gun, because it's such a slim case compared to a 9mm, because it is just 30 cal. Yeah, I wish it caught on, but it did not. Thank you, Amber Boy. I appreciate it. Well, any outros? Let me actually, while I'm sitting here, let me go ahead and drop the link into the YouTube chat once again for the Redoubt stream. Thank you to everybody who hung out with us over there as well. Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. CST every week. We should be streaming on the Redoubt show. This was a special occasion for the State of the Union. Go over there, hit subscribe, and you'll see our 3 wonderful faces, usually doing something a little more theological or political or religious focused, rather than just like generic politics, world news, or guns. But of course, we're all into all that stuff.
Well, I had a full agenda for tonight, but with clips and everything. But I figured that I didn't want to counter program the president of the United States, so it seemed apropos to cover this. But we'll probably recycle some of those clips for next week, or we'll focus on whatever is new and current. But yeah, no. Thanks for being here, guys. This has been a lot of fun. All of you from Focus Trip, of course, and those of you who are Redoubt regulars, we do appreciate it. John, Christian, thanks for being here too.
Good night.
Good time.
Absolutely wonderful night. God bless. Godspeed, Jen.